Welcome back to day 2 of the Rush qualifiers. I'm Carpetfin, joined here with Itsu. Today we will find the teams that are going to advance to next weekend in the playoffs. Itsu, how you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. I'm super excited for some incredible matches, hopefully some close matches indeed. But I think we should take a look at the prize pool to see what those teams are fighting for, because there's a lot on the line for them to go through and win this qualifier. With that being said, let's now dive into the first sheet and take a look at the prize pool overall. The first seed is going to win $18,000, which is quite a bit. I mean, that's a lot of money on the line. But not only that, as well, we have the golden ticket for the first seed team, which is, well, getting you directly into the main stage of the World Championship, which is the same thing as being part of a $1 million prize pool tournament, Carbon.
Absolutely. They're fighting for that, but we're taking a look at the Swiss stage, and it's all about the number 3. If you win 3 matches, you advance to the playoffs. You lose 3 matches, you are eliminated. We have found the 2 teams, which was Tribe, and we have Imperium or Esports that advance. And then at the 0-2, we had a few teams that were eliminated as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but we're going to find out the rest of the teams here today in the Swiss stage going to the playoffs, where you saw that $18,000 first place and the golden ticket. But so let's take a look at the overview of all the teams that we've had in this competition at the Swiss stage here.
Yes, we had a lot of teams entering this Swiss stage, and 2 of them already made it to the next stage, which is next week's playoffs. And 2 teams already dropped out, as you said, with Total Access and Prophecy Esports. And, well, unfortunately, they are out of this tournament. All of the other teams on this list, they still have the chance of making it to next weekend. And this is what we're here for today. We want to see who are the next teams, who are the next 6 teams who are making it to the next playoff stage, which then is going to be a double elimination bracket. Carbon, I think there's just so many good teams still on the list. I mean, just Navi, CMG, CMGA, we have Esports who've done amazing yesterday. This is going to be a rough day for some of those teams.
Absolutely. There's going to be some heartbreaks for sure. They have all done fantastic to get to this point, but only 6 can advance here today to the playoff stage. So let's take a look at the matches that we will see today, because there is a total of 3 matches where there's going to be the 2 initially that are going to be, I already know which ones that we'll be covering. As you can see at the top, Navi taking on Chasmac Gaming. We will be covering that match to start, and then later on, after that, we will be going into Strut and United Gaming. So we got those 2, and then there will be a final one after some teams win. If Navi wins or Chasmac wins in the first one, they will be able to advance. But if you lose, you'll have one more chance in that one to still try to advance, because it is all about trying to get 3 wins when we saw that Swiss stage overall breakdown to advance to the playoff stage, Itsu.
Yeah, that's right, and there's just so many good matches. But as you said, we're going to take a look at Navi versus Chasmac Gaming. We're following Navi quite a bit in this broadcast and yesterday, but Chasmac Gaming, we have not had them on the screen just yet for this weekend, but they should be known in the competitive community with being part of the last World Championship of the main event. But right now on your screen, you can see the stats, the hit rates of Navi, and they are, I mean, those hit rates are incredible, considering that is ton of 15, and it's not easy to get those play stars there. This team is just making things look easy. That's like what they like to do.
So the big question is the new player, Koma. What can he do? Because it was in the match against Tribe Gaming that Navi did fall short, and that's why they did not advance in that match to the playoff stage. They are now in this one against Chasmac Gaming, and I believe it was, I remember he got that 1 star, so he's looking to bounce back from it. As we're seeing Chasmac Gaming, and they have some really good hit rates as well, but Mac is looking to try to turn it around from the qualifiers. But General X, Timtastic, Mech, Giannis, and Temper, another fantastic lineup that, hey, they have the World Championship experience from last year as well. They want to try to improve on their finish from last year.
Yeah, and I think one player to highlight in this one is for sure Temper. He's like one of the best newcomers when it comes into the German community. He's just incredible how good he is, and one of the main reasons why he was not able to take part so far in the World Championship in the last couple of years is because he was too young. So we're looking forward to see how he is going to do on the big stage now in the big broadcast for us, and really looking forward to his attacks because he has done amazing. I mean, having the best hit rate in his team as well, he really needs to then take the charge and getting them the first couple of 3 stars depending on how the hit rate or how the attack order looks like for them, because we have touched on that yesterday with some people tending to go first, just having the team in the back when it comes down to the pressure, because remember, normally the first and the last attacker, they have the most pressure with their attacks, because the first one is kind of like giving the tone for the match, while the last one is then like the finisher and sometimes have to really like do all or nothing attacks. So I feel like those 2 positions as attackers are most unforgiving and having the most pressure in the team. So really it's quite impressive to see most of the time Gaku for Navi doing that, and with such a success rate.
So I'm curious because you talk about being the opener and the closer. I remember from watching when you played competitive, you were always the closer. So was there a reason why you were always one of the last attackers? Was it the pressure that you were most comfortable attacking at that point, or maybe any words of advice for some players that are watching if you have to attack in a certain order?
I feel like back then the thought process was more like I was around the scene for quite some time, so I was supposed to have the most routine in doing that, attacking last, even though I feel like watching back, I'm not sure if I was that good with controlling my nerves. I just remember like Maxi telling me from time to time that my hands were shaking that much that he had no clue how I was actually able to deploy troops. But that's kind of like what it is, right? Like when you're in this position and having to like deliver on the spot and everything, but that's as well like what the fun is as a pro player, to be in those positions. It's not easy, but it's a lot of fun if you can then deliver as well for your team and everyone celebrating. But for this one, I think we should get ready anytime soon with the first match. And we just said it, there we go. First attack is in. Chasmac Gaming starting things off with with Electro Titans. We were expecting those, but I'm not sure if you were expecting a 6 healer recall charge.
Wow, yes, 6 healers in this mix. Maybe he just wants to use 1 healer as a Kogo healer, trying to protect the others. Well, let's see as this queen's going to charge her way in, and we've got 4 healers deployed on this queen as she's going to make her way through towards this expo. And the brilliant thing is this queen is tanking that expo, so the flame flinger can then go for that multi-target inferno.
Yeah, expo nicely tanked, and that flame flinger is going to have some great time there. If there are no tester, that's always the problem. And he's already starting a ward walk at the same time, because one thing with those recall spells, time is always an issue because you have to go through those outside buildings multiple times. He's turning things... Wait, what?
Oh,
he's turning the Inferno Tower invisible to get the queen into the right direction, but with that, the flame flinger is getting redirected as well, and this is not looking good for him.
Oh yeah, that flame flinger now opened up. We have Yetis. Hopefully the healers don't transfer off to the Yeti. Well, actually, I guess that could actually be fine, because now he's turning into a smash attack, as with some Electro Titans pushing in with this Grand Warden, but his ability may just be forced. Oh, that ability is forced a little too early here, as we have a jump, as now the Monolith is locking onto this queen.
And the queen is going to be stuck for quite some time with those Ice Golems. Queen ability is getting forced, and this now looks quite messy with everything running around, but we have some Titans going in, some Titans going around the outside following that king, but the healers, they are following this main group through the base, which is exactly what he's hoping for. With that Royal Champion coming from the top side, this might still work depending on how much power this queen still has, but without the spells and without the ability, she's going down.
Yeah, no queen ability hurt, so wasn't able to take out that enemy queen as he's got that his Royal Champion popping ability. Now moving into the scatter, so tries to time these headhunters to help take this queen down. Oh, the RC goes down and not able to keep his troops alive there as they go down. This king's gonna run around, get a little bit more value. Every single building counts, but unfortunately, that queen using that invis and the flame flinger not able to get that multi in that section down to create a probably more of a narrow funnel to push his troops in. Probably all the difference in this attack.
Yeah, just that flame flinger not working as intended. The invisibility spell invested onto that multi-inferno tower that the queen is going into the right direction. And this just meant the flame flinger had little to no value whatsoever, falling short on this one. But Navi, they have now to deliver, because if they can get a high percentage or even a 3-star, this would put a lot of pressure on the other team. At the same time though, we are at the moment in the bracket of the 2-1 teams, which means both of those teams have still one loss open, which means they can still lose one match and still make it all the way to the next weekend.
Yep, and that's where their performance from yesterday gives them that ability. If they do mess up now a little bit, they still have one more chance to try to advance, as we are now in with the first attack from Navi, as their defense was strong. Let's see if their offensive side will pull in a 3-stars. We saw the last attack from Stars was absolutely incredible recovery against Tribe, but we find a tornado trap. He did use that invis on the air defense to start so the Hound could try to fly across directly where the blimp was going. And can these super wizards secure this town hall? He has one more invis. Giant Bombitsu. Oh my.
Yeah, but he actually just uploaded yesterday. By the way, yes, he has a YouTube channel, so you for sure should check it out. He just yesterday uploaded a video where he and Legend failed pretty much every single blizzard he could possibly do and still 3-stars with swagging spells. He's like the king of recovery we have in Clash of Clans. He makes attacks look easy, which feel like for other people like impossible. And right now he's forcing his king into this compartment, opening the wall for his queen, now trying to get that town hall. And if there is some player out there who can still make this lot of work, it is Stars, but it's not going to be an easy one at all, because town hall just went down and there's a lot of base still left, with the rage tower in the middle looking like a really big threat.
Yeah, with that monolith that's going to lock down this queen now, but it is triple ice golem, so it's not too big of a deal, but they will make their way over to the Raw Champion eventually, as his LaLo is pushing over. That Eagle artillery is far away, gonna be hitting his troops. Pops the wooden village to try to protect a lot of balloons and the lava hound that now cuts to the right side and not protecting over that Eagle, which looks like there might be some Teslas.
Yeah, it looks like a raged up Tesla farm, which is really evil because of the high fire rate versus those loons. So they are really efficient. Another Tesla popping up, getting taken care of right away. And there's the earthquake just to damage some more buildings. I'm not sure, Carbon. I'm not thinking that he could recover this one. Do you think there's still a chance?
No. There's no way for this, right? Well, I mean, it is Stars. He could probably triple with one balloon at the end of the day. I can't count him out, as unfortunately the Eagle raining fire down on him with that scatter shot staying up. And we've got a defense here for Giannis of Chasmac Gaming, and it's going to be 2-stars across the board. And remember, however many stars you get in any match, it's not going to carry over. So hey, if you win by 1, if it's 11-10 or 10-9, who knows? As long as you win, that is the important bit, so that you can advance to the playoff stage in this case, which will be next weekend, because both these teams have won at least 2 matches, but they both have lost 1. So very nice try there to Stars, as we'll have Chasmac Gaming up next.
Yeah, right now we have the perfect tie when it comes down to stars and percentage. Both teams starting off exactly the same. But right now, Navi has the time advantage overall. I'm not sure how important that's going to be, but at least for now, it's a nice fun fact for those two teams. And now it's back to Chasmac. They have to get their next attack in next, and hopefully they're going to 3-star to really pressure Navi, because we know Navi can 3-star a lot. So if we want to have a close match, I feel like Chasmac really needs to step it up and get a lot of 3-stars in, because, well, those 3-star rates of those Navi players, we have seen it before the match. They are looking scary.
Yes, they are indeed. But here we go with the next attack from Temper. You talked about Temper before, and they are happy that he's going to be able to join the team to bring in some amazing attacks with the Queen Charge LaLo, it looks to be. As I'm taking a look, as we got a Frosty on the Warden, it looks like. So that's an interesting thing, is if you send that Warden on air and you have a ground Frosty, any troops that say you pull a CC, it will come out and hit your air troops. But in this case, he's going to charge the Queen into the clan castle, so that shouldn't be a problem.
So to me, there's right now like two options, which is like what is going to happen. First option is that he's going to add his Warden to his Queen Charge at some point. The second option is that he's going to play his Royal Champion with his Warden, and because the Royal Champion is on ground, well, the Frosty and the Royal Champ can tank for each other, which makes the ladder push then even stronger with having more ground coverage for the Royal Champ as well. But the first Black Mine, hitting those healers, every single healer, especially versus down of 15, is just so important, because, well, the health is always a big problem, and the Queen ability is just getting forced early on.
Oh no, Queen ability, get the Rage her back up to continue her charge to take out the Eagle, work her way into that multi-target Inferno. Oh, that one balloon pulling two seeking air mines right there, and there is an early Royal Champion. So it doesn't look like she's going to be sent in with the Warden here, but the way you broke that down was actually very interesting. Now I'm going to be thinking about when I do my attacks, maybe if I send my Royal Champion in with a Warden and that Frosty. But we're seeing that King going up to the top there with that Tesla farm popping, but he comes back to life with that Phoenix.
And that Flame Flinger, how is this out of range of the Royal Champ all the way? Taking down the scatter shot, now being in range, but it's already too late, because I feel like this Queen has been surviving for so long, but the King has went down without getting that scatter shot. The Queen now making her way back in. Are there any more red mines? Queen is going down because she has lost her ability early. And now he somehow needs to save this with the LaLo, with the scatter shot being alive, and the Town Hall being protected now by both sweepers, because that did not go down, and he has a big problem right now.
Yeah, he wanted that Queen to grab the sweepers, grab the Monolith, and get that section. This would have been a perfect time to use a freeze on a Monolith, maybe rage that Queen up to keep her alive, but he unfortunately wasn't paying attention to that, as the Warden Belly protects these balloons leading into the Town Hall. And Town Hall has been secured for that second star at least, but those sweepers were pushing the balloons back, such a problem. And the Warden's going down to that Monolith, and losing the Queen ability early cost him there, because that Queen ability would have been able to survive through the Monolith, taking that stuff down, maybe continue to go through the walls. But the plan was there, would have been a beautiful plan if the Queen stayed alive, but unfortunately, losing the Queen cost him in this attack.
Yeah, and the King not getting the value he was hoping for, the heroes not getting overall the value he was hoping for, really cost him in this one. But he got the 2 stars against the hero in the end, which we have to say, in the middle of the attack, it kind of looked a bit shaky with the scatter staying alive, and he still had to go through the Town Hall. It was risky, but he's managing to get that 2nd star with decent percentage as well. You have to remember that the percentage is such an important factor. And now something I'm really looking forward as well is the defensive side of Chasmac, because so far we are seeing a lot of box spaces. But if I remember correctly, Chasmac Gaming had like a diamond-shaped base. Are they keep going with that? And yes, it looks like they're one of the only teams who are running those diamond-shaped bases. So the question now is if the other teams are just like trained enough to attack those spaces because everyone is just so used to attacking those box spaces.
Yeah, and that's the big question mark is Navi, can they turn it around with the first attack, which did fail, right? Stars fell short, and now Gaku is here with the second attack, and he's coming in with super archers and bat spells. Wait, what? With a blimp going to the town hall, we've got an invisibility spell next to it. It's not yet activated, so he's forced to use the freeze so the sneaky goblins can secure it.
Yes, but the town hall going down and 7 bat spells overall in the army for him with a ton of super archers. I mean, we just have to really take a look at where the splash is, and with looking at the base, we see 3 multi-inferno towers on the side of that warden walk. Then we have as well a lot of wizard towers. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. He already took down one of them. There is another one around the top side, and 2 wizard towers around those multi-inferno towers as well, the same as the scatter shots. So as soon as this push, if this push is going to work, this would be crazy regarding how much splash he can take down, and this might be a really good start into the attack, and the warden is even following, which makes this king ability even better.
Yeah, using that warden ability for the king and his barbarians is clutch to get so much value. But there's the bats already used on top of the scatter shot because of the dead zone. So the scatter shot can't hit the bats there. Going over to the expos, now to the archer towers. He breaking this base down to see that there's really no splash to the left side and sends that royal champion under the bats. The biggest threat when you send the RC under the bats is it activating a tornado trap. Uh-oh, that's what I was talking about.
You called it.
Oh no. But it's still looking fantastic though. Look at this.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, just the warden ability. With the warden, it's always the question, is he going to follow or not? Especially with super archers, who always stay behind so much. But the warden just perfectly followed with that king ability, and that warden ability just crushed this entire right side. Getting the king, getting the barbarians, getting the titans, all of them inside that warden ability really made this attack. And the plan was beautiful. I mean, Gaku still is looking incredible for Navi in this tournament. And he's just keep smashing those bases. And that's our first 3-star in this match. And that means Navi takes the lead for now. But,
yeah,
well, Chasmac Gaming, they really need now their first 3-star to stay in this match. And really show Navi that, well, if you want to win, you have to keep getting high percentage, getting 3 stars and so on. I feel like if they're now 2-star, Navi can just super relax, do whatever they want, and I feel like this is where they are getting even more scary.
Yeah, and the super archers coming in, fantastic value. You don't see that typically with bat spells, and you just saw the base, broke it down, and it was perfect. Got so much value. Seeing all the splash was on one side, and was able to get it. So what a breakdown there from Gaku with the 3 stars there for Navi. So that was clutch to get that and give them the 1-star lead, because remember, you win this match, you advance to the playoff stage. You lose, you will then be at risk of elimination, and a lot of pressure is on. It's not an elimination match right now, so if you lose, you still have that second chance now, but it's starting to get more nervous as the attacks go on.
And I feel like especially with the new player for Navi, if you can pressure the players who are not used to, like if you can pressure the players who are not used to that pressure overall, that could be really, really good then for the other team, but they need a 3-star to do so, and Mac is that person who's trying to do that. And remember, so far he was, at least in the qualifier, he was not having his best performance, so let's hope that he can really turn things around.
Yeah, with that warden walk to start, lightning spell helps remove the buildings near the town hall so the flame flinger can eventually try to push its way there. But you have to drop some more troops. There's the hog. Okay, very nice. The use of that hog is to test for some Teslas in front of the town hall or in front of this area. Those balloons help as well, not only to test for Teslas, but also to help funnel, push that flame flinger to that town hall, not stay on the outside, as the Electro Titans are now down to push straight in towards this eagle.
Yes, but there's just so much open space for this flame flinger. There still might be so many traps and everything, so he has to be really careful, even though he already tried to trigger some of them. But the Titans now, they have to step inside. The ice golems are going to be annoying, At least for now, they're staying out of range of most of the defenses. There's now the first Ice Golems popping in. Going to freeze all those Titans up. The air defense, take a look at that. Shooting from the side and picking up heater after heater. So he's forced to use the ward ability now.
Yeah, that ward ability does protect quite a bit here. Let's see as the King's ability goes straight into the Monolith as a Flame Flinger is locking on and trying to secure this Town Hall. As each one of these compartments moving his way through from the right side, down the middle, and to the top side as the World Champion is moving in as well. But the jump spell with that Electro Titan is now unfortunately getting stuck on the wall. His queen that was in the core, she is dead. And that single Atari Inferno is roasting through that middle. And unfortunately, he was not able to take it down, and the whole core push has been eliminated.
Yeah, he did not pay attention to that single Inferno Tower. Out of all of the possible troops, the single Inferno Tower right away locked onto his queen, and he did not invest the freeze because he did not see that in this huge chaos, the queen got targeted by the single Inferno Tower, which then cost him because the queen would have been the only troop to actually reach that single Inferno Tower and fight back. And with that being said, we have another 2-star for Chasmac Gaming. They really seem to struggle versus those bases of Navi. And those box bases, they just keep defending and defending. And those players, they just seem to find no answer whatsoever for those bases.
Yeah, it's tough. These bases are going to be copied everywhere. You know that for sure. You'll see them in Legends, CWLs, your regular wars, as they also share, many of these pro players share their base builds that have been very successful in these tournaments. So make sure you guys are following these players over on their social medias, on their YouTube channels, Twitters, you know, everywhere to help support them and to use the links as well to download them, because I've used plenty of them and they've helped so much, because I know I can't build bases. That's how I get my bases, is from following their social medias and copying it that way.
Yeah, I mean, overall as well, like, we have to say, like, follow, if possible, like the team Twitter, for example, because they are retweeting as well when their base builders are sharing the bases. Because remember, most of the time, those are the 5 players on the screen which we can see which are attacking, but then there's a huge team behind those players building bases, testing the bases, and getting those bases ready. So they are going to defend as crazy as we can see right now. But the next attack is live, and we are jumping right into it. We have another diamond-shaped base, which I think is really cool to see from Chasmac Gaming, that they're trying something different. And so far, it has worked once, but can it work again for them staying in this match?
With Koma going in, he's looking to rebound from his last attack, which was a 1-star against Tribe Gaming. As deciding the Queen Charge Dragon Riders is the answer here, as that Queen is going to be making her way to the right with the wall break, opening the compartment and leading this Queen back into the Eagle Artillery. As this Archer Tower will pull the Queen maybe a little bit right as the rage is down, but he funneled enough to be able to bring this Queen back in to get the value he wants.
Yeah, the Queen nicely charging into that Eagle compartment. The Loon really nicely triggering that Black Mine. But now we have a lot of raged power against that Queen. He needs to be careful with that. The Clan Castle is coming out. There's the poison. But take a look at that. There's just so much damage on this Queen with the multi-Inferno Tower, the Cannon, and the X-Bow, and the raged up Clan Castle troops, that he even is forced to use the ability. That is crazy.
That Queen ability being forced this early is going to be a big problem, because you usually need that Queen ability when you're encountering a Monolith, which looks like he wants to through this charge, as the wall break gives him access to be able to grab these Inferno Towers. But once he gets in range of this Monolith, it's going to be a big problem here, as that King's ability goes off towards the scatter shot. The Monolith is on his Queen now, so he's forced to use the freeze. But the question is the value from this Queen worth it? It seems like it. There's so much that this Queen is taking down, so maybe switch up to a Stone Slammer, because he's currently got his Battle Blimp selected.
The Battle Blimp, maybe just to fly towards the tunnel with sneaky goblins, that might be an option. I am not really sure how that's going to work. We have the Tornado Trap again around the tunnel with a lot of red mines, which is going to delay things quite a bit, and this means those dragons are going to have, well, going to have to take damage from that town hall, especially with being raged up. And take a look at that. Those dragon riders took a lot of damage from that. The raged up expos are dealing a lot of damage to that attacking Royal Champion. And with only 35 seconds left, I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. This might be another defense for the diamond-shaped bases.
Yeah, as the Dragon Riders are trying to make their way over to the backside, the Queen is just going to pick them off one by one, but losing that Queen ability. Again, a big problem. He had one more wall break. He maybe wanted to continue to try to break that Queen deeper into the base, but of course that Monolith doing a lot. She did make her way outside of it, but unfortunately not able to keep the Queen alive, and she ended up dying, it looks like, to the not near this Queen compartment. So if she was able to have ability still, could have gotten to that air defense, even wrapped into the enemy Queen to take her down. Very nice try, but this is another defense that we see for Chasmac Gaming, so he keeps them in it. They do need to start 3-starring to come back, because Gaku did come in with a brilliant Super Archer Bat spell attack. Yes, if you missed it, it was absolutely breaking the base down. It was wonderful. Definitely should check that out, but let's see what Chasmac Gaming can do for their answer.
Yeah, and their MVP player already attacked, and Navi defended him, right? So it's like, yes, the players who are not having their best tournament and everything, yes, they obviously have to step it up. But I feel like as well that the player who's like performing that great for the team just then has to somehow carry the motivation, carry the momentum, carry the team on a mental level just in that match somehow. And it did fall short. But on this one, we have now another attack. It looks like a Skelly Donut. That would be my guess, because we do not see a poison spell whatsoever. And there is the rage. There is the invisibility coming in. So let's see if you can pull that off.
With the bats, the Skellies trying to take these buildings down. The builders repairing quite a bit here. One more invis, and yes, the multi and clan castle have been removed. The value is there as the Queen is now off to the left side. Gonna try to get this Queen to the town hall and to try to put the king to the scatter, so that you see how where that minion was. That minion helped funnel and sends another minion to help take the cannon down a little bit quicker. But if you're able to take a town hall down without the need of healers, and you still have a siege machine, and you don't have to worry about a clan castle, that's a lot of value right there.
That would be indeed a lot of value. Queen ability getting forced early. He just uses that Queen, which means... Wait, he has 11 Sneaky Goblins, so the Town Hall is going to go down eventually. Roger ability as well, getting some more build-outs out of the way. So the Queen ability was no mistake. Even the defending Warden now going down. He's trying to scalp for possible traps. He's not finding any. I had that happen to me in the past as well. Like, let's hope did not like a... Sneaky giant bomb or something survive. Okay, thank goodness. That's always like the worst feeling. You're investing this test sneaky goblin, and then there's still like a giant bomb or something. That's always the most annoying thing. But he now needs to make sure that he's getting through this remaining defenses with this attack, with a defensive multi-inferno tower and rage tower right next to it. This might be still a big task.
And with that early warden building, big reason is to not only protect the headhunters going to the Queen, but also protect that hound. Look at it, flying all the way across, but it is going to pull some red air bombs, make its way to the air defense, pop there as the stone slammer is down, trying to continue this push through, but the Eagle Artillery is locking onto that lava hound, doing a lot of work, as there's probably a lot more red air bombs waiting for him as he gets closer to the Monolith. But these balloons, the warden, that's all dead. Oh no! Wait, what? Warden, what are you doing? He's gonna go down.
Oh no, that Warden, what did he do? He just, I don't know, he just went into this solo mission, and this really cost him, because remember, the Warden is not only important for the ability itself, but as well the aura is just going to give those loons so many hit points. And if you have like 5 to 10 loons, that is, if you add those bonus HP up, that is a big difference. And you could really feel that those HP were missing on the back end of this one.
Yeah, that one hurt there. Do you think maybe LaLoing over the Eagle Artillery and then ending on the Queen could have been the right call? Because I've done it before where, yes, if you leave the Queen up to the end, it actually is not too big of a deal because if you finish right near the Queen, then all the balloons can just directly target her and take her down. The problem is if you have to end near the Queen, but you have to pass her and continue to grab a little bit more defenses, that could be the issue where she picks off your loons and things like that. But yeah, that leaving the Eagle up definitely was a big problem. And he used his ward ability like super early. He wanted to protect the Lava Hound, protect the Headhunters, but at the end of the day, he might not have even needed to use that ward ability. He could have used it deeper in the core. So maybe just so used to just using that ward to protect the Hound and the Headhunters that wasn't really thinking twice about that. But Kazuma is looking to add another 3-star for Navi. And his plan is using the Zap LaLo 6 lightning spells, looking to take out either Scattershot Expo or that Monolith. Because there, you got the multi. Okay, so he's going Ground Expo there and that multi-target Inferno as the... Was there also a Rage that he took down? I believe so. Yeah, obviously, since the Rage is activated.
Yeah, and I feel like that's always a big mistake then if you can take down this, like those three buildings together, because they are typically really close to each other on those box spaces, the Rage Tower, Multi-Inferno Tower, and the Expo. So you typically want to have 4 tiles in between them to make sure that you cannot take all 3 of them together. Normally it's always like only 2. You can take down Rage Tower, Inferno Tower, you can take down Inferno Tower, Expo, but not all 3 of them together, which then gives his lightnings a lot of value now. And the Queen getting locked on early with this ground expo, so he has to be careful and invest the spell early on to make sure that she's staying alive and staying healthy.
Yeah, and that Golem is doing its job nicely, tanking the expo as there's a wall break. Gonna push this Queen further in as he pulls a bunch of archers and that one Headhunter in the mix, so the Queen unfortunately won't be able to get much further because that Lava Hound's going to be a big problem once it pops as the King's ability went off, moving in to take out the Royal Champion, take out the Scattershot, and the wall break actually opened up the Expo compartment, so he can go help take that out as the Queen's ability goes off. That Flame Flinger is going to move its way to help try to take out the other Scattershot.
Yeah, but there's a mortar in its way, but it's actually a... Wait, is it going to actually avoid it? I think so. It's going to target the scatter directly. Okay, that Flame Flinger is just crazy right there. And now we have the LaLo starting. There's the freeze. The Ice Hound flying across, and those group of loons, they have to be protected because they are supposed to take down the tower, and the ward ability is getting invested early on.
He wanted to protect that Ice Hound as another freeze is through, but the balloons, unfortunately, are going to die off, but they did secure the tunnel. Look at that Diggy stunning that Monolith, which locked down the Warden to try to keep him alive a little bit longer, but the multi takes him down because the defensive rage is such a pain, but he's got some balloons. He's got the Royal Champion still moving his way through, and the Yeti Electro Titan to the left side moving through, and this is looking great here for Kazuma.
What a beautiful attack. Really, really nicely done on this one. And, I mean, the Ice Hound even survived until the end, which is normally not happening, okay? That is not what is supposed to happen. But another 3-star is happening for Navi, and this now means that they are well ahead of Chasmac Gaming. And I feel like at this point, it is going to be really hard to come back from this one, because I feel like at this point, not only the stars are in Navi's favor, but as well the percentage are in Navi's favor just so much that even if Chasmac at this point is just keep 3-starring, Navi would need some really bad percentages overall, and this is typically not something what they're doing. So... it's looking rough right now.
Yeah, it's definitely rough, but it's still possible. We saw from yesterday, X Team Early Bird. Remember how they started? It was 2 fails, and then their opponents, which was Total Access, they came in with two triples, but then it completely turned around where they finished off with 3 triples, and then Total Access didn't get any more, and they ended up losing. So anything can happen. You just gotta stay calm, stay focused, and continue to try to get those triples. you can make a comeback, but it's going to be very difficult against a team like Navi for sure. So the next attack is underway, and here we go as General X is coming in with the dragons. All right, dragons, and he's got that clone spell.
He got the clone in the mix. Where is he going to use it? Is he going to just have a clone blimp towards the town hall, or is there anything different planned? Skeleton spell invested early on to make sure that this monolith is distracted. Now, is there going to... No, he has the slammer selected, so it's just going to be a far side Inferno Dragon combination. Because this one sweeper, take a look at that. I feel like the one sweeper is Mr. Is that going to be... Like, that's not intentional, right? The one sweeper pointing into another direction as the other sweeper symmetrically. Now we have ooh, a super minion blimp right into the invisibility tower.
Yeah, so that invisibility tower goes off, which now the super minions should be able to lock onto the town hall as they are literally right next to it, and down it goes with ease. Oh my, look at that. And the clan castle went down. And wait, did he clone after the fact? He cloned after the fact. He didn't clone right away, as his heroes are completely crushing this one, and he still has his royal champion. Wait, and 3 freezes. What an attack.
That was genius delaying that clone spell, because what this means is that he actually had not all of his minions just straight up traveling into the town of poison. Instead, with the clone, you are going to get the bonus long range shots. And with that being said, the expos because of that went down versus his versus the super minion. And now we have the royal champion cleaning things up from the top side, but this 3-star might be a little too late because we now needed 1-star from Navi, which they had already, but I am not sure if they're going to go for a risky 1-star approach at this point.
And the last attacker being Klaus. We'll have to see. Well, that was a crushing attack. Beautiful hit. That we'll have to be taking notes from there. Wow, that was very impressive. What a hit, using the dragons, the clone spell in the mix as well, and then not using the clone right away, right? Using it after the town hall went down, so you can get the super minions when they are cloned. They get that extra range to hit farther away, but that was a brilliant hit. It might have been a small base building error like you spotted there with that sweeper. Just pointing the wrong way could change everything, because if it was pointed a little bit the other direction, it would have kept pushing that blimp back and could have been a difference maker in the attack. But you can see a 1-star differential right now for Navi, as they are down by 1, a 2-star, and they win, and that would push them to the playoffs next weekend. Chasmac Gaming, if that happens, would not be eliminated. They will have to win their next match. If they win, they would advance. If they lose, they are out. So that would put a lot of pressure on. But we're getting ready for the next attack. But wow, that dragon attack was impressive.
Yeah, that was just really, really clean. And I feel like with those sweepers, it is always a question, because in the attacking, you're asking yourself as well, is that a base building mistake? Or maybe because we have just seen versus box spaces so many blimps over the scatter shots. But with having one of the flanks just totally protected by the sweeper, is that then a bait on the other? Like, there's so many different possibility of mind games, because take a look at that. You have the 2 scatters covered by sweepers, because this is such a common approach nowadays, that you have the blimp towards the tunnel with the warden ability, but you're covering that now with the sweeper. One of the sides of the other base, it was covered, on the other it wasn't. So there's just so many different possibilities. Well, we have Klaus with his iconic 1 healer charge.
Wow, 1 healer pushing this queen in. That lightning taking out the expos, the eagle artillery. But that rage spell is still up here, so it will rage up that multi-target Inferno on his approach, as we got rocket loons, dragon riders still to send in, as the rocket loons were able to essentially test and pull a test for Seeking Air Mines, and also damage that Grand Warden altar. So when the blimp flies over it, it actually takes it down with some of the damage that it drops.
And take a look at that. There is no damage on the screen whatsoever. There's only the multi-fire towers which are in range. And I mean, even one healer with the Unicorn can keep that queen maybe a little bit longer alive versus those multi-fire towers. But wait a second, there are the black mines, and this queen is not having any healers left except the one Unicorn.
And the queen is luring out the clan castle here. We got a lot of archers. Will probably be a lava hound and a headhunter in the mix here. So RC is going to be responsible for going into the other multi-target inferno, as the Dragon Riders are now coming to the bottom side, popping that warden ability to protect the headhunters, going to the enemy queen. And the Dragon Riders are a really good call here, because Dragon Riders, you typically don't need to use spells in terms of like rages to get them in. They are a great troop to use without spells. Like dragons are a troop that really require those rage spells, but the problem is the headhunters didn't remove the enemy queen. The owl helped finish her off, but can he continue this push through the core now?
There are the rocket dunes for the back end. The scatter shot and the monolith are the big threats at this point. And the defending royal champion is a big problem as well. I feel like at this point, it's not going to look like it's going to be enough. At the same time, it's really safe 2-star approach for Klaus, because he just used that blimp for the tunnel. He had the queen walking already kind of the 50%. And this is going to be the win for Navi. 12-11 victory over Chasmac. And this means Navi is the next team making it to the playoff stage next weekend.
Yeah, that is huge to make it to the playoff stage, and that means that you secure at least some bit of the prize money. Navi already have a golden ticket, so they don't need the golden ticket if they were to win first place. What they are going for is the first place prize of $18,000. That is what they are interested in, as they've already secured the first. But congrats to Navi as they win this match, and they will be advancing to the playoffs next weekend. And they want their revenge against Tribe, who did defeat them just yesterday. And that was unfortunate. They fell short. They did get a 1-star in that one. And, you know, that was a rematch of last year's World Championship. And they're back in the top 8. And we have plenty more matches. We have 2 more matches here today to watch to find out the final 6 teams to be joining, which was Tribe Gaming and ET Esports. And now we for sure know at least Navi will be part of the playoff group.
Yeah, we will maybe take a look at the results of the other matches in just a second. But in just a couple of minutes, we have already the next match happening, which then is going to be Strut versus UG Game Esports,
United
I think,
Gaming,
if that's correct.
I believe United
Okay,
Gaming.
perfect.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's going to be our next match then, as we can still see the match summary on your screen right now with the overall stats from every single attack.
Yep, and we did see from Stars, unfortunately he wasn't able to, well, a match MVP here on your screen. We've got Gaku and, you know, the super archers, bats, just incredible. The value that he was able to break down, and, you know, I would love to take another look. You know, sometimes you break the attacks down, and that's one that everybody should be going back and watching, and just the way he broke it down of seeing the base. But it was interesting that Chasmac Gaming decided to run, like you said, kind of this diamond style, not what the typical boxes that we've been seeing being used by so many players in these types of tournaments now at 10 or 15.
Yeah, and I mean, overall, just Gaku feels like the team MVP as well for this qualifier so far, being 8 out of 8 as his hit rate. That is impressive. 8 attacks, 8 3-stars in a tournament like this is not easy. We see so many of those top players getting those 2-stars in, even sometimes like a 1-star. But Gaku, he just does not care. He only knows one thing, and that's 3-starring bases, and he's just so good at it. And the even more impressive thing to me is that he's doing it in such a different style. I mean, we see a lot of players just like kind of specializing in one specific strategy, but with having Gaku really adapting to the base every single time, that's just really impressive and a skill which nowadays is not that common anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. It is not, and it's just impressive what they can do. Navi advancing to the playoff stage, and we will be waiting to see the next few teams to be going, as there's 2 more matches here today. And oh, are we in with the next one? And just like that, we are in, and here we go. Nick of United Gaming is going in to take on this Town Hall, and he's got his Inferno Dragons with using that clone spell. So we saw previous about you using a clone spell with some dragons, but using the blimp early on the outside, not all the way across the base, which you can see the sweepers are pointing the opposite way of where his Inferno Dragons are going.
Yeah, the Inferno Dragons just straight into that base. Behind the back of the sweepers, both sweepers point towards the bottom side. And we have the heroes getting delayed quite a bit because he wants to make sure that they're staying as healthy as possible, while those dragons are going to take down the core of this base to make sure that, well, most of the damage versus the heroes is just gone.
And then with that Warden Billy protecting the Inferno Dragons, moving straight into the core, going right behind these sweepers now, trying to then eventually lock onto that queen, pulling a lot of sinking air mines with the freeze down. That is a lot of damage now onto his troops. And the Infernos, the Eagle, is still up, raining fire down on him.
Those Eagle shots indeed, with the king now getting pushed inside. The invisibility spell invested for the Royal Champion, but there's still a lot of base left at this point. Royal Champion needs to get forced early. The queen is trying to follow up. The ground expos raged up. They are just such a big threat. He has 1 freeze left, and Nick trying to get the first 3-star for his team in this one. Do you think he can make it? Because I feel like at this point it's getting really close with this scatter on the back end.
Oh, that scatter is going to be a big problem. This queen, obviously, they can't get to it. It's a closed compartment. She has to go through the wall, and she's going to make her way through. And the big thing about this match is this is a fight between, I believe, the teams that are 1 and 2. So you lose this, you are eliminated. So you need to win this match on this one. This is a very important one here. Not like the previous match where we saw Navi and Chasmac Gaming. They were both 2 and 1. So the winner of that advanced, and the team that lost still had another chance. You lose this one, you are out. So Nick, unfortunately, falls short with the 90% 2-star with some Inferno Dragons and Super Minions.
And to me, it's so impressive that he's doing all of that on his phone, especially with his LaLo attacks like earlier. I don't know how he does it. I mean, as soon as I'm getting used to a tablet, I just... It's so small. I mean, it's so small. You cannot really hit anything, I feel. I don't know if I'm the only one like that, but it is impressive. And using with those Inferno Dragons, getting the high percentage. We have seen quite a few lower percentages over the day already. So 90%. Might be not the worst thing possible, especially Town Hall 15, where things are a little bit harder than what we're used to.
Yeah, Town Hall 15, definitely not a little bit. A lot harder, for sure. Like, the hit rates are completely different than they what were at Town Hall 14. But here we go. The answer from Strut. Asht is in with Rocket Loons. Okay. And we do now see... Yes. That Super Archer with the double clone that's going to be coming out. Let's see the value he can get.
Dim. Blimp is flying. Can he make it all? Wait. He okay. So normally you never should have only archers in your clan castle. But because he's landing on top of the defending clan castle, the defending buildings, he knows that there can't be any giant bombs. So because of that, he's only running the only archers, and that's why he can use the clone spell earlier, which then means it's more damage output for him. So really smart choice there. Take a look at that. Where's the core of this base? At this point, it's 2 expos on the back end, but he should be able to take those out with rocket loons, right? That's what he's doing. I mean, what? That is crazy.
Where did this base go? Hello? The base is completely wiped off this map. There's like nothing left now. Like, this isn't even fair, the value. It feels like it's a higher town hall hitting the space, you know? It just doesn't seem like a 15 versus 15. There's just the way that he got the value, this all moving through with his heroes. At this point, he doesn't even like need to use his world champion, it seems.
Yeah, it's always so crazy when those super archer limbs are connecting. At the same time, though, if they're getting baited, those attacks feel horrible to save. Now he's sending in the Royal Champion. He has still 14 rocket loons left to deploy on this one. And now he's going in with them. He's trying to make sure that he's getting this 3-star in ASAP, because he knows time could be always a deciding factor. This is the real mentality of an ex-world champion. And he's really showing that with trying to not really swag. He could have swagged all of those rocket loons, as you said. But he's not doing that. He's trying to get the 3-star as quickly as possible. And that's the right mindset you should have in a qualifier like this.
Well done. And getting an overwhelming, dominating 3-star. Just crazy value. Just unbelievable what he's able to do. And there was nothing left of the base after that blimp. It's like super archers in your blimp, cloning them up is definitely something that you at home should be practicing. At least have in your potential army composition. Maybe put it in a quick train somewhere. Try it out, because it is very strong at Town Hall 15 and even other Town Halls as well.
Yeah, it's for sure really strong. I think at Town Hall 15 it feels really strong overall, because people tend to stack important defenses because of the rage tower, because of the invisibility tower. So you want to have everything closer together, which then is giving the opportunity to anything which deals splash damage, like the Super Archer Blimp, for example, a really good time. E-Dragons as well doing great at the moment at Town Hall 15. So there's a lot of different things which have this splash opportunity, and they're just taking advantage of those bell towers really nicely. But this means now, well, we need to see a 3-star of United Gaming. And at the same time, I have just read who are the other teams who made it to the next stage, because we had in our first match, we had a couple of matches going on at the same time. Navi was one of the teams making it to the next stage, to the next weekend. Clash Champs making it to the next weekend, and UG Esports are making it to the next weekend as well. All those 3 teams won their matches. And all of the teams they have won against, they have a chance later on today in a couple of other matches to get still the chance of making it to the next stage. But we have now our next attack, and we have Agent 33 making its way into the base with another dragon attack, but with a recall spell.
With a couple rocket loons to the outside to snipe the air defense. As we got a recall, maybe to recall this queen after you can get some value. Send her to the another side. The baby dragon helping with a funnel to grab these outside buildings. And yep, there is that recall onto the queen. And maybe send the king, queen together near the town hall to try to grab that. We'll have to see, as the dragons are looking to come down into the enemy queen's scattershot compartment.
Is he going to clone something at the town hall, then going to recall? I mean, that might... I really want to know how he's going to use... Well, he used the recall already. I'm just a bit lost right now. But there's the blimp coming in, so he can clone those loons at the town hall. And then he can get the king in front of his queen.
He definitely wants the clan castle to go down, so that nothing comes out to take out his hero or slow his heroes down. But that clone was used, took out the Inferno Tower on the other side. He did find a tornado trap, but it wasn't leading into where the blimp was coming from, as now there's his heroes, the queen behind the king. But that EU artillery is still up, so he sends the Raw Champion to try to go into it with the freeze under the Ground Expo. Now he's going to rely on his heroes to try to finish off this base, as the dragons did a lot of work in the core.
They did a lot of work indeed, with the king ability still intact. The unicorn has to survive. That would be massive, because this queen could just get healed up and healed up and healed up and staying alive for quite some time. But This unicorn is dropping lower and lower. And the Royal Champion trying her best in Carbon at this point. It's 1 minute left for only 25% of the base.
Yeah, we have one freeze too. This king ability is going to be clutch. Drop some archers to the bottom side. Going to pop this king ability. You want to have the king last as long as possible. And he's going to let the king basically kind of go to auto as he's running around. And that unicorn is healing this queen slowly back up with a headhunter still to use on the defensive king. Giant bomb is there. There's the freeze onto the king, but he's saving the headhunter for cleanup on probably that army. Yeah, look at that. The smart use of the headhunter cleanup so that he can be sure to get all the buildings in time. And the king comes back alive. And Agent, you know, we were kind of questioning it, but it ended up coming through. And brilliant job with the queen recall dragon clone. Man, we're seeing a couple different attack strategies here today. We're loving it.
Yeah, in the perfect use case of the cleanup headhunter, I think Maxi would agree with you. That was really nicely done. Cleanup headhunters are always the best headhunters out there. Nicely done to the building, and really smart choice with the freeze into the queen ability for the king, so he can actually do that with the headhunter, and the headhunter not running towards that defending king. So overall, nice job to Agent, and this is now closing this match again with Strut being up next. So it's now in their hand to take the advantage in this one, or maybe have the match being pretty even after the first couple of attacks.
Well, these teams definitely have a lot of experience playing with each other, and now we have the next attack coming in with Strut. And here we go with Philip coming in with the Zap. Queen, okay, I was going to say Queen Charge into Electro Titans. It's not a Queen Charge, it's a Warden Walk on the bottom side with the Lightning to help remove the Invis. What else was he going for? So was it, okay, I think it was just 4, right? So if it was just 4 lightning and that's all that's required to remove a spell tower. Oh, pulling a Tesla farm right off the bat.
Needs to be careful. There's a goblin, but oh, he needs something to protect those. Okay, there we go. The skeletons are gone from his flame finger. That flame finger has to stay at as many hit points as possible, because there is quite a few of buildings in between the flame flinger and that town hall. With now the troops pushing in the jump spell, leading away from the multi-inferno tower and just straight into the monolith. But there's going to be a lot of damage, and there's a triple ice golem clan castle that is going to delay things.
Yeah, that's going to slow his troops up quite a bit, as this multi-target inferno is roasting his healers, so he's forced to use a freeze to try to protect him. And he already used that warden ability, so he needs to keep these healers alive as long as possible as another rage is down. And he's continuing his push with especially the king through the defensive king.
Yep, the push is just keep going. There's now a freeze for the multi-inferno tower and the bomb tower on the back end. The queen still has her ability. She should be able to reach that expo as well, which is crazy value for him. And now we have the Royal Champion coming around, joining the Titans on the back end. That flame finger keep sticking on that town hall, and the town hall should go down next.
With another freeze, the RC ability, she's gonna stun the scatter shot. Oh, the ground, some ground skeletons popping here, but should be able to make easy work of them. Flame Flinger finally opens, has the Electro Titan and Yeti coming out of here. As he's continuing his way through, this RC ability will be clutch to skip through, getting some fantastic value. The Electro Titan is doing work there. 43 seconds with the freeze, and a plenty of Electro Titans on the edge as the ability goes off. And Philip adds another 3-star to the board for Strut. Brilliant attack. 2 for 2 now for them.
Yep. Good job, and really interesting choice of just going for the spell tower. I mean, he could not really lightning anything else because the inferno towers were out of range, so I would have never expected that this lightning itself already being enough value for this attack to work. But he nicely has proven that this is going to work. And I feel like the base builder itself would have not really expected someone to go with an approach like this, because typically you try to go for Spell Tower and X-Bow or even the Monolith with your lightnings, and nothing like that was really on the table for him. But he still went for it and had a nice attack, and putting Strut back into the lead with 6 stars now after just 2 attacks.
Yeah, and that's huge. That means United Gaming must get another 3-star and even more 3 stars to be keeping pace with what Strut is doing here. And this is an elimination match because both these teams have lost twice. You lose again, you're out of the Swiss stage. If you win, you have to win the next match as well to advance to the playoff stage, which is next Saturday and Sunday. And that is when we will be crowning the next golden ticket winner, who will be going to the World Championship to join who we know first is Navi, who already got the first golden ticket in the Queso Cup. But here we go with the next attack. It is going to be Garaticus, and he's got a Queen Charge Hog Riders with that Queen to start at the bottom side.
I love it. Queen Charge Hog Riders is like such a cool strategy, so I really like that he's bringing that to the table here. I just hope that that's going to work with the Flame Flinger now for the scatter, but there's just so much damage on the Queen. The Queen keeping her ability hopefully, but the Rage for now keeping her alive. The scatter, oh my goodness, this is just so close, Carbon.
Wow, look at that. Queen ability not being forced, but the healers don't get hit by the scatter. No, 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 no. Do something. Graticus, do something, your healers. Yes, oh my gosh. Oh, that healers. Come on, get out of range. Get out of range. Get out of range. Get out of range. No. Oh my. Oh, those healers almost died.
That was a little bit too close right there, but the healers staying alive, as you said. And now we have that Flame Flinger finally taking that evil scatter shot out of the way. But the Clan Castle is coming out of the building, and this means this Queen is getting delayed a little bit longer, with having to take down the town up first, and it's working. Nice job right there.
Yeah, with that Flame Flinger securing some of the bit on this left side, can't continue to go. It's just about under half health here. But look, he's still got the Queen ability, and that is huge. The Queen ability can get some more value with another rage. Oh, Seeking Airmine loses his healer as he continues this charge. If he can get both these bomb towers with his Queen, that's going to serve so much value for his hog attack.
Yeah, that Queen keep going and just keep taking down those core buildings. The pathing is created, but he has to engage versus 3 heroes, or like 4 heroes with the Warden, but I think the defending Queen, King, and Royal Champion are the important ones right here. That could be a really big problem for him, the Warden ability, but there's so many spring traps, and those hogs are just flying away.
Wow, the hogs springing everywhere, getting sprung here and there as he now has hogs out of the Flame Flinger, moving into the Monolith. There's more, oh my gosh, more, they're all gone! Spring traps everywhere and just launching the hogs left and right and disappearing off this base. And that's the one thing when you do a ground attack, especially with hogs, because if you think about it, you have a Warden. If you do an air attack and you pop a Warden ability, it's technically impossible to lose a troop. You can't lose it to a Seeking Air Mine. You can't lose it to red air bombs, to a tornado trap. There's no way to lose a troop when you're on air. But when you pop the Warden ability on ground, spring traps can still launch troops that are protected from the Warden Eternal Tome. So that's why air is so strong. And when you do a hog attack like this, it's the Warden ability just doesn't protect them through springs, and that's why it just disappears so quickly. But hog attacks can be strong if done right, obviously, on the right base, but that one, the spring traps were just placed perfectly to launch the hogs so quickly.
Yeah, I feel like I just hope that at some point the spring traps are kind of getting a small rework, because it's always kind of frustrating with like no counterplay to some degree, because yes, on air you have that counterplay with the Warden ability, but on ground it's just not there with the spring traps always working. And Oof, that's frustrating. Like having the opening working, at least like somewhat. Yes, he had to invest a couple of those bonus freezes for the scatter shot, but otherwise the opening worked, and then the backend just with the Hawk Riders, every Hawk Rider just flying away. And because of that, we have Strut now coming in with an air attack, and that's a wide mix of spells. We have lightnings, we have a bad spell, we have the clone spell as well, and he's starting things off with just taking down the multi-inferno tower and the rage tower.
And with a bat spell as well to the far outside, and Rigatores has a lot of experience playing with many of the players of United Gaming, so this is a little friendly rivalry as well. So we're gonna excited to see what he's bringing against Nick's base with the clone dragons, and he's gonna cut through this core, try to push these dragons to the eagle, and then blipping all the way across to this town hall, potentially. Hasn't dropped that blimp yet, and there it is. He's got to time his warden ability perfectly.
Yeah, that warden ability has to be timed perfectly, and that was a really nice one right there. Poison spell is getting thrown towards that blimp. There's the clone, nice loon spread. And the town hall has to go down next, and yes, indeed it does. And with those expos in the core, those dragons have an easy time of taking them out right away.
Yeah, he's able to move his way through that clan castle in towards that eagle artillery, taking that down. As the queen's making her way to the left, king's ability goes off. Royal champion has still not been used. You don't want to send her to the right because there's a defensive king over there, and you don't have a headhunter, so she'll get stalled up immediately. So maybe help assist this queen to the left, help grab some of that, as the dragon riders need to help get through an air defense. As the queen still has her ability, it's not looking too bad here, or maybe tries to pick off the multi. There's not too much left of his troops here as he's trying to push through the rest of this remaining base. I just don't think he can do it, but that queen ability could, well, actually that queen ability could be clutch.
I mean, the
Just
Royal
be able
champion.
to sneak in. Yeah, as easy trying to, that's the only thing. Okay, wow, oh, never mind, those dragons, and took out the expo, which was huge. Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, those expos just
Queen
way
and
strong in the back end. He already knows that he's looking like it's looking good for him. But when
he's got
is
to
he going
use
to
it
deploy
for
the Royal
time, right?
champion? Is he going to, like, what is going on? What is going on there? Come on, use it. Use the
Ability.
Royal champion. There's the queen ability. Is he really trying to swag it? Are you kidding?
He is. He is. He's looking to swag it, but that king is going to slow this queen down. You know, maybe he just wanted to be upgrading his royal champion, even though she's already maxed. There's no way to get this builder unless the queen, no, doesn't target. There's a minion there. She's going to go down, and he has to use the RC to help take out one building. One building is what he needed his royal champion for, and it is the 3-star on Nick's base.
Another 3 stars coming in. Strut is looking really strong. They woke up and really wants to get this seed, making it to the next weekend, because as you said it, they already had yesterday 2 losses, and 1 more loss would mean that they are out of this tournament. So they need to win every single match, and so far it looks good for them in this match. Incredible scoring, and it's now back to the United Gaming team, who somehow need to get some 3 stars and some good defenses as well versus a really strong looking Strut.
Yeah, Strut is coming in with 3 back-to-back triples. And here we go. United Gaming, you must answer Exostana with the Super Dragons. And it's going to be a little bit of a Queen Charge Recall Super Dragons. We saw like Navi using some Queen Charge Recall E-Dragons. And now the Super Dragons in the mix. Let's see if they can get their value, because the Super Dragons do provide a little bit of skip onto the defenses that is hitting right from behind. So as long as they're pretty close, you can get that value. So let's see as this queen's grabbing the air defense, and then recall her after this. Okay, cannon doesn't go down. Maybe one more shot, it could have gone down.
Yeah, but he's going to send his Super Dragons into that cannon, so I don't think that's going to be the biggest threat. It's more important for him that really he gets the timing right, and every second counts on those recall charges, because it's just so time consuming. And he's already starting early with that. As soon as the air defense is about to go down, that's what his go timing is. Now the queen has to go into the right direction. Is the storage going down? No, the storage is not going to go down, and this means the queen is going the wrong direction. He started his dragons a little bit too late, I guess, to funnel, or maybe he should have deployed them different. But either way, the queen is not going as intended into the scatter, but instead is now, well, kind of stuck right there and not losing her ability.
Yeah, with that warden ability being used very early, now unfortunately these super dragons are getting picked off, and the queen's walking into where the town hall was and not to where he wanted, towards that scatter shot. And that's a big problem as he pulls out the ice golem CC. Queen does have ability, so he freezes actually perfectly the enemy queen and scatter together. But this queen's ability goes off, and the defensive rage, look at that, connecting 2 Infernos, 2 Expo, and the Eagle Artillery so much on the backside, but his super dragons are all gone.
Yeah, those super dragons are all gone, and this queen could have made it through the back end, but with going into the core, that was just not it. And it's a really low percentage. I mean, take a look at that. He's going to pick up a couple of more percentage, but with no spells left and a lot of base still left, he's not going to get that higher with the percentage. I feel like at this point, Strut is looking really good in this match, even if they would now go back to back with only 2 stars.
Yeah, and the defensive rage goes off again, just crushing through his troops. And this is going to be on the lower side of things here. Just the 2-star, 73%. And the match is all tied. But I believe they have the same amount of text being used on each side. No, they got 4. Well, no, they don't have the same amount of text. They have 1 more used, but it's a tie on score of 9-9. So that is where Strut has been doing really, really well. Again, 3 stars to kick off this match, and they are in a commanding lead.
Yeah, they're looking really, really good with their attacks so far, and putting up a lot of pressure as well. I feel with like those small little mistakes are coming in with the timings of the super dragons on this last attack, falling short with the 1 storage staying up. Like if this 1 elixir storage would have went down, this attack could have went completely different, because overall this approach, this strategy on those box spaces typically works quite well with the super dragons and the queen charge, but just not working out for him this time. Strut is up next. They can attack next, and if they get another 3-star, this match would be pretty much done. With the 2-star, there is still the chance of the comeback. It's still possible. We have seen crazy comebacks yesterday, but for that, we need to see a defense for United Gaming.
And that's going to be really hard to get defense against Darkstar. He has been very impressive for Strut through this qualifier here for the rush, as he's been tripling and tripling left and right, as we're seeing an early warden ability, headhunters. And the key that we're learning with this attack is if you can get the value of the enemy hero, of the Royal Champion or Queen, you can take out a scatter shot, and you can get the town hall then with your sneaky goblins, then this attack is really strong and allows you then to move your way through with your heroes to get the value. So look at that. Look at the value he got. The lightning, the warden ability early. The problem is we still have 3 multi-target infernos up, so he's got to have a plan to take each one of those out.
Hey Carbon, it's only 2 of them being up. Really sneaky rocket loon right into the heart of the first multi-inferno tower. Really nicely seen right there from him. And this now means that he can push into the middle of the base. He has 2 wall breaks, which means he could wall break at that Eagle Artillery. And this would mean that another multi-inferno tower would be in reach of that queen, which would be massive. And he even has a heal spell to cover the last multi-inferno tower then. The plan itself looks amazing. So far, the execution looks good as well. And Darkstar is looking to add maybe another 3-star on his list.
Wow, look at the value he's getting from this queen all by herself. going in, taking on the defensive range. Now she is going to secure the multi as he's pushing into the bottom air defense, and the RC is going to clear the other multi. So his LaLo is not having to deal with any Inferno Tower at all, but he's got the spells. He's got to use them as his balloons are fading fast. They're gone.
Ooh. Those loons died out really quick. That was crazy. I mean, he had quite a few loons left, right? Where did all of them go? And the attack, which just looked so convincing in the beginning, fall short really quickly. He now needs to add some rocket loons to maybe pick up some more percentages. But it's going to be the 2-star United Gaming we're hoping for. And maybe, just maybe, there's still the chance of turning this around.
The 2-star holding Dark Star, and that is impressive defense there from Fluxy, and unfortunately not able to get it with the Lightning Warden ability. Blimp, I guess it's like, what do you even call this? Zap? It's like not a Zap LaLo, but like it's a completely different type of LaLo where you do that early Warden ability Blimp to go across the base. So nice try to Dark Star here. But it is just the 2-star where they are up by 2 right now. So the final attacker, Fluxy, is going to have to triple. Obviously, must triple. But at that point, then Strut will still only need to get, what, 2 stars to be victorious? So it's not as much pressure, but, you know, anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen indeed. But first, United Gaming needs this 3-star to make this miracle possible overall.
Yeah.
And so far, they were struggling quite a bit versus the bases of Strut, and were struggling with the plans overall. But we're waiting for the next attack, and as soon as it's going live, we are going to jump just straight into it and try to break it down with you. But with that being said, take a look at the percentage. Even on a tie, it's going to be really hard for United Gaming to stay close, and they would need to win it on tie. They would need to win on percentage, and Fluxy is coming in with the Zap Titans.
With that Warden ability, I would say Warden to start down here, not using Warden ability yet, as the healers are on him at 6 to move his way into this air defense. The Ground Expo, once it locked down on this Warden, then he can drop his Flame Flinger if he wants for the Town Hall. Drops the Barbarian to test for a Tesla. Hog as well to test for more Teslas. And there we go. Flame Flinger behind the Warden. So that can be responsible for going for the Town Hall. And then the Electro Titans can make their way to the right side. But you don't want that Flame Flinger being pulled over to that mortar now.
He deployed the Flame Flinger really far on the right side, or like on the bottom side. So I'm not sure if that is the plan. It looks like right now that he's preparing the funnel already to get into the scatter compartment, but he somehow needs to push his Flame Flinger towards the Town Hall. I'm not sure yet if he can somehow do that. The Expo is about to go down, and time is ticking as well. Like, remember, it's 1 minute and 50 seconds at this point left, and the Siege Machine is not going for the Town Hall, at least for now.
Well, the Queen will step in for the mortar. Nope, not yet. Tassels are popping. And that Flame Flinger is still going to continue to be making its way towards the right side. Oh, it goes straight for the Town Hall now, as the jump is going to give him access to the scatter. Continuing his push. And look at that. The super wall breakers taking the jump spell. You don't see that too often. The wall breaks jumping, wall breaking the inner wall there. Oh, I love it. I love it. Wow. Incredible as he breaks his way through the core of the space here.
Yeah, that mechanic is just too good with the jumping wall breaks. But the Titans, they are still quite healthy, but they're running into the Town Hall. The beams right there. This means that some of them are going down quite quickly. The King has done his job, but has went down as well. Now there is a little bit of defense is still left on the back end, but Colin, we have talked about the time in the first place. It's only 40 seconds for nearly 30%, and needs to really speed things up to make this work.
He really does, as the Electro Titan Yeti do come out of that Flame Flinger. Queen's ability goes off, breaks through the wall. She could step in for the scatter shot. The problem is, Not that he doesn't have enough troops. It's time. 20 seconds with a freeze left. He's taking out these storages. He's running through. The RC freezes the Expo because he wants to keep some of his troops alive as much as possible. But he's not going to have time on his side with plenty of storages. The cannon wizard tower is still up. And Fluxy is going to fall short here with a 92% 2-star. And it's all tied up on stars without Strut having to use their final attack just yet. So all they need to do is get a single star, and they will be advancing not to the playoffs. They'll be advancing to play in the next match to have a chance to advance to the playoffs, which would mean that United Gaming would be eliminated with 1 star from Strut.
Yeah, and overall, like, whoever is going to win this match has to win this and another match, as you just said it, because they have already had their 2 losses earlier this weekend, so they really need to make sure that they are delivering today and not doing any mistakes. And so far, Strut has looked like that. I mean, 3 out of 4 attacks being 3 stars for them is quite impressive. And now I think for the match itself, it's not the most important thing to get a 3-star. Obvious. I mean, a 1-star would be enough, but just for the momentum. I mean, they have to play back to back. So finishing this match with a 3-star would be just a really great feeling going into the next match, and not finishing this match with a 2-star with a fail in general. That would be then maybe not that optimal, even though for the match itself it would be still a win. But just this momentum is such an important thing if you have so many matches back to back. And Musk is in, who so far has struggled from time to time. So let's hope that he can. Oh no, his healers just went to the outside. I think it was a funnel giant or something. Those healers might be in a really bad position with the scatter shot being in range.
Healers are back. Rocklin's going to the scatter. The queen actually walks this wall, and she's going to loop her way around to the storage. I can't imagine that's what he was planning, right? Or maybe, yeah, he wasn't, because he's using the invis.
No.
Uh-oh. How is he going to recover this one? So now he's going to change his plan. Oh, no, he uses a second invis. Okay. He had multiple invis. All right.
But this means like 2 spells already invested early on, and the rocket loons as well, in addition to that, for a defense which would have went down anyways to his queen. So that's a heavy investment, considering that he still has to charge into this double ground expo setup with the rage tower, and you can see how much damage there is. Another invisibility spell had to be invested. There's now the freeze getting invested, and I mean, this charge still has to go a long way if this is supposed to work.
There is so much damage that's on his queen as her ability is forced. Finds a tornado trap there, but rocket loons are coming out. Gonna go for, wait, she's coming back. She's coming back to go into the town hall. Something pulled her back, maybe some skellies or whatnot, but she's gonna be able to lock on the town hall as we got hogs. They're coming through, but watch out. Where are the spring traps? As he finds a Tesla farm straight in front of the Seagull artillery.
Yes, the Tesla farm being super annoying. Wait a second, are there? And yes, there's some of the Hawk Riders left alive. The Warden ability now protecting them at least versus the Eagle shots. And there is no spring traps for now. And now we have even the clan castle, like the siege machine opening, but there's a Titan and the Yeti in there. There's a lot of defense in the middle still left. I remember he could have had like 2 or 3 invisibility spells still left at this point, but instead there is no spells left, and everything is relying on those heroes remaining with 35 seconds. I am not sure that he could do that.
He is distracting the scatter shot, so the Yeti dies, takes out the Archer Tower. The Electro Titan Wizards are going to work on the enemy Queen, which are trying to clutch that up. They're making their way through. Enemy Queen goes down. The Warden's going to have to try to help this Queen move her way through 16 seconds. It's a race against the clock here. Wizards are going to die, but unfortunately the Queen will have to wrap her way back around. You got at least a 1-star, which is what was needed. But it's going to fall short, as it's going to be a 96% 2-star there for Mask. What a brilliant attack, but like you said, early on the invis. But congrats to Strut winning, but that is not their end goal. They are looking to win the next match, as that is now their focus. That's their priority. win one more, and you're into the playoff stage, and where all the work and preparation has come down to. So very nice try there from Mask. But again, congratulations to Strut advancing to the final match, which will be today, which we'll be taking a look at as well. And we're going to go ahead and update you on the other results of some of the other matches that were elimination matches as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was some crazy match for Strut overall. I mean, just the beginning with going back to back 3 stars was really impressive. And we can see even the fails were most of the time for them on quite high percentage, like the 96%, which we have just seen. But overall, let's just hope that Strut can keep that up with their last match, because they have to do one last match where they have to win to get to this next weekend. And 13-11, the final score, and the percentage were pretty one-sided as well, I would say.
Yeah, it definitely felt one-sided for most this match because of those three stars all coming in to start for Strut and really setting the tone, and just they were doing fantastic. Asian did come in with a lone 3-star, but unfortunate that the other techs were not able to push through. So very nice attempt from United Gaming, which means that they will be going home and not able to try to advance to the playoff stage and get a eventual, if you win this whole thing for Rush, for that golden ticket. But Ash is the MVP of this match here, as the Super Archers just destroying the base. Insane value. And then Rocket Loons, man, it was just a sight to behold. So much value.
Yeah, that Super Archer blimp nearly took down the entire base on its own, which was really impressive. I mean, it's always so satisfying to watch if there is a base where the Super Archer blimp is not baited, and you actually can get to show the full power of this blimp, and it just looks so broken. But then there's another attack where you feel like those Super Archers did not get anything if they get baited and things like that. It's just such a risky strategy overall, because you're committing so much for this blimp. And with that being said, this attack can go wrong sometimes. And if they're going wrong, they're going quite wrong, with risking even the 2nd star sometimes.
Yep, and it can be very risky, but like you said, it could pay off in a big way. So it's up to you of how much risk you want to take. And if you're at home, you're looking at a different attacks, is probably have run into some matches where you've seen some Super Archer blimps just crushing bases, especially those ring bases. But let's go and take a look at the other matches across the Swiss stage round 4. As we covered the Strut vs United Gaming, and we saw Strut win, but we're seeing where before we saw Esports go down by just a few percent to Clash Champs. So Clash Champs looked to have, I believe, advanced as well, because they were probably, what, 2-1. And then we had UG Esports win their match against Chasmac EA. And we had, oh, wow, look, X Team Early Bird taking a victory, 13-12. And then VNE Sporting over Renegados, 13-12 as well.
Yeah, but take a look at those percentage of Renegados, 97% on average, while on the other side is like 93 or something, or like 91. Wow. So they had the percentage, but they were just not able to get those 3 stars in. Like a lot of time fails would be my assumption. So really unfortunate right there. It's just so frustrating when you have the percentage, but you think, oh, it's the 1-2 biddings are missing, and you just cannot get those biddings down, and then the opponents are like getting those few more 3 stars and winning in the end, even though you have this advantage on the percentage level. It is just so frustrating. But those teams need a little rest to actually get into the next matches, which needs for us, we will take a quick break as well. So you don't want to go anywhere, because we will be back right in a couple of minutes with more action of Clash of Clans.
welcome back here as we are getting ready for the final match, which is going to be here in the Swiss stage of the Rush of Clans. I'm Carbon Finn, joined here with Itsu, and this last match is going to be between Chasmac Gaming and Chasmac Gaming EA. So it's like a family rivalry that we're going to be having today in this very last match, match number 3, because the winner of this goes on to the playoffs. You lose, you are going home. But we've had an exciting day so far, not only today, Itsu, but also yesterday for a handful of teams that have advanced to the playoff stage.
Yes, indeed. We had overall already 2 teams making it yesterday out of all of those 16 teams, with Tribe Gaming and ET Esports being the first 2. And then today we had a couple of teams already following. But those next matches, everything is on the line. They win this, they're going to be on the next weekend. They lose this, and they're out of this. It cannot get more dramatic than this. And we have overall our next match happening. Those were the matches we just have seen in the round 4. But round 5 is going to be Chasmac EA versus Chasmac. Chasmac Gaming. That's going to be the match we are going to watch on this broadcast. As Corbin just said, we have as well Strut versus Faun Esporting, and we have as well ET Esports versus X Team Early Bird. Those are going to be the matches overall. If you're looking forward to supporting your favorite team, there's going to be other content creator streams out there as well who are going to cover the other 2 matches which we cannot cover in this stream right here.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you're going to support your local communities and watching it across the board everywhere, as these are the final matches of the Swiss stage. And there's no more than these. So whoever wins advances, whoever loses goes home, because there's only 8 teams total that make it into the playoff stage. And we currently have 5 teams that are already sitting waiting to see who joins them to compete for the prize of $18,000 for first place and that golden ticket. As we're taking a look at the Chasmac EA roster here, and we're taking a look at a handful of some players with 3 out of 4 hit rates, and some 1 out of 4 hit rates. So it's really going to come down to who is able to get those 3-star when it matters most.
Yeah, that's for sure right. I mean, this is kind of like a all or nothing match where you really have to show up. The nerfs are going to be a really important factor, I feel like, on this one. And then on the other side we had Chasmac Gaming, which we already saw earlier today with some really great attacks, but as well like some question mark shots. If I remember the attack of Giannis, who just turned one of the Inferno Towers invisible to have his flame finger run into that range, which was really an unfortunate outcome, I want to say. But overall, let's see how close this match is going to be, especially with like both teams being in the same clan family kinda.
Yeah, and only one of these can advance. The pressure is on both these teams, and if there's any player, you talked about the invisibility spell making it invisible last one. We haven't seen Chasmac EA here in the Swiss stage yet. As if you've been watching it through the other community streamers, you may have watched a few of their matches. So we'll have to, is there any player that you're keeping your eye on the most? You talked about Giannis, but is there maybe anyone else, or is there maybe another attack from him that you may be looking for?
I wouldn't really say like I'm looking forward to like one specific player like doing or not doing any mistakes. It's more like overall.
Yeah.
I feel like with this last match, really momentum based, and it depends on how much pressure your team can take, because so far a lot of times it was that you had this opportunity of always coming back, and especially because, if I remember correctly, both of those teams so far were mainly in the upper bracket, right? I think at least, I mean, Chasmac Gaming, we followed them through the upper bracket, but I think as well as CMGA had their run through the upper bracket, so they were not close to elimination just yet, which is then a big difference regarding the pressure when coming in this do or die match in the end.
Yeah, this is it. This is the last match of the Swiss stage to advance to the playoffs. As you can see at the bottom, we still got some time before, so you guys can go use the restroom and come back and get ready to find out who makes it to that stage. As we've seen today, a handful of some really cool attacks from the super archers and bats that we saw coming in from Gaku. Obviously, Ash came in with a brilliant attack, which was with the super archers just destroying a base. But here is again the bracket of the Swiss stage and how teams have done and their performance. So if we're looking at Chasmac, for example, they did go down to that lower one, 0-1. Then they won, and then they won again, and so they're like got a roller coaster going down, up, back down. Now they're looking to go up again. But then Chasmac EA, same thing, up, down, up, down. It's like, say, they're both going throughout this bracket. They are having some crazy runs. We'll have to see if whoever can advance to the playoff stage. But yeah, from the two teams that went 3-0 that were the strongest in the Swiss were Tribe Gaming and ET Esports. And there's a handful of other ET Esports and Emporium Titans, or ET Esports, I should say, because ET Exports is the team with Cynthia, Tryhard, Arium, and them, and so they are the ones that qualified, which was yesterday. So they've been relaxing today.
Yeah, and especially take a look again at the X team early bird team. They lost yesterday twice, and then in the elimination match, they were behind by quite a bit. After 2 attacks each yesterday in their match versus Total Access, they were 2 stars already behind because they started with 2 2-stars early on, and Total Access started with 2 3-stars. They turned that match around, and since then they are just keep winning. This would be a crazy, crazy story if they would make it all the way after just going 0-2 on the first day, and even going behind in the first match in the elimination bracket. So they are used to the pressure. I mean, I feel like at this point they are just preferring the pressure because they are just thriving under that. And that would be a crazy story if they can could just turn that around. That would be amazing.
Yeah, just turn it around and make it work well. A lot of these teams have put so much work into getting to this stage, right? To get to this point, there's a lot of practice, a lot of base building, but was there, obviously we've seen a lot of the box style bases, but so you were surprised, I could tell by the way you were talking about it, of how CMG was running those diamond style bases against Navi. Do you think they may run that again here, or do you think they may switch it up?
I mean, I just think that Navi is just so well trained versus the box spaces, and they were as well one of the teams who brought those box spaces even to the meta as well, like back then on Town Hall 14. So you could really think that this is like what they are used to attacking. So maybe just CMG thought that something different might work. So to me, it really depends if they have trained with each other, like inside that clan family or the team family itself. So if they said, okay, they know how to attack those bases, they know how to attack those type of base layouts, we'll just go back to our box bases. That's just better. I feel like overall they have different type of layouts prepared, and then they're just going to pick to whatever they feel like works better versus CMGA.
Yeah, and there's only a certain limited, obviously, number of base slots. You know that these teams would love to have just like 20 bases to be able to choose from, right? But no, you have to be able to have a limited supply of them, especially if you're running through a tournament of maybe up to 5-6 matches, right? Tons of bases, so sometimes they may end up reusing a base, and that could be, at the end of the day, the most ultimate mind game, is if you run the same base, but you never know as an attacker, you're like, wait a second, they just ran this the last war, but did they move any traps? And that's the true question. But I believe we're getting ready for the very first attack here, as we're going in it with CMG Mech going with the Electro Titans. No lightning spell though with this one, as he's got that jump and a recall.
I mean, Chase the A is coming in clutch in the chat. He says that CMG
Oh.
has used diamond bases 90% of the time and had attackers back to a 25% hit rate and 91 destruction rate. CMGEA has used all box bases and had attackers to a 25% hit rate and 90%
Wow.
0.5% destruction rate. So, I mean, those two teams are really close regarding that. And we see exactly one of those box bases from CMG EA. The question now is, what's going to be the answer of Chasmac Gaming? Well, we see Mac charging into that town hall with the recall spell, which is going to be really cool to see now with those Titans.
Yeah, looking to recall this queen to take her back after that town hall goes down. There you go. Queen is back, going down to the bottom side to stay far away from that monolith.
Yeah, as far as possible, starting now as well with those Titans and using the king to push everything inside. The opening looks great. The question now though is if he has enough power with investing those spells early on. But is the king going to funnel as well quick enough? There is a hound inside the clan castle. This is like the perfect dream for those Titans to attack, because you saw how quickly this hound just disappeared.
Yeah, those Electro Titans making easy work of those pups as a battle drill. Look at this. Opening these walls technically, because it goes from building to building. If it's touching the wall, boom, the walls are going through or even just next to it. And he's going to continue to push his way in through this core. And look at the value that he's getting through that push all the way to the backside. Now, as the RC ability just goes off.
Ooh, the back end freeze to make sure that this scatter has no chance of shooting again. The Titans are just swarming the back end with all of those walls open. The Titans have a really relaxing time of entering and leaving the compartments as they want to. And I mean, this attack was just beautiful. And there is nothing left which can defend this. It's 50 seconds at this point. It's going to be the first 3-star of this match. And Mac really, really showing up with this plan. That was perfection right there.
Yeah, brilliant job there to do a queen charge, pulling her back because you don't want to send her through that town hall poison and then have to deal with the monolith, because then if the queen went to the monolith and pulled the clan castle out, dealing with the lava hound would have been a big pain. So using that recall made all the difference right in that attack. So what a way to start it off with a 3-star in an elimination match to have a chance and push yourself to the playoffs, which is next weekend.
As well, now the question is, what are they running in the other defensive clan castle setups? Because 3 ice golems would have been a true nightmare in this one, because the ice golems would have frozen his Titans right at the time where the monolith would have locked onto the Titans as well, which would be a really, really bad timing. But this hound just disappeared. So if they are running more hound clan castle and Chasmac Gaming are deciding to go with more Titan attacks, this would be a really, really strong setup for them. But then again, if they're mixing it up, this might be bad news. So it's really depending on what they're going in with next. But at least the first attack worked out beautiful for them. But now it's back to Chasmac EA. We know that they are a really strong team as well on offense. And are they going to face those diamond bases? And yes, indeed, it is going to be the same base which Stars already tried to attack earlier. And we remember there's a Tesla farm in the middle of this base.
As the blimp does make it, and it's a triple ice golem CC on the defensive side as the Invis helps secure the eagle. Grabbing the scatter, the ice golems become invisible for a bit. They're going for it. Nope, they don't. They go for the king. And if they could take this defensive rage, that would be clutch. No, that does not go down. But the queen makes easy work of these ice golems.
Yeah, the ice golems are getting taken care of, even though the ice golems are dealing quite some damage. I'm surprised about how much damage they deal to the queen. She's going to stay alive, yes, 100%. But the unicorn is getting frozen as well, which means it takes some time for the queen to get healed up again. And now we have the king making its way slowly into that multi-inferno tower compartment. He has one wall break to get somewhere. His queen maybe further inside, or maybe even tries to go for the town hall. I'm not sure yet how that's going to work out though.
As this king is pathing his way into the multi, drops the poison to slow the enemy queen down. And look, takes out the Skellies, or at least helps assist to take them down, as the Warden with the LaLo going straight away to the bottom side, as the Tornado Trap is there. The raged up multi, so he's got to keep that frozen. He's going to try to activate the Town Hall through a percentage, and then Warden ability to protect them.
That's right, the Warden ability needs to be clutched on this one. There's the haste. Queen ability can be used in the core as well. The Town Hall is going down. No Tornado Trap there. And this means that those Loons can just pass really quickly out of the poison of the Town Hall. There is the freeze. The Scatter is shooting at those Loons. And the Royal Champion going down, but from the Warden and that Owl together.
Look at the value as these balloons are all still up here. And we saw from Stars' attack on the space, he sent the blimp to the Town Hall, not able to get it. This one sent the blimp into the Eagle, and it worked. It's all about the entries. So it's the same similar type of an attack, but this one's a crushing one with a swag invis. And wow, what a great hit here, crushing this base. Very nice job, as it's all tied up 3-3. We've got ourselves a match.
Both teams are coming in strong with their first attacks, and now it's back to Chasmac Gaming to go in next with their attack, and it feels like it's a battle versus like box bases versus diamond bases overall, defense wise. So let's see what is going to come out top for both of those teams.
We will indeed have to see, but it's going to be coming down. You know that these teams have experience with each other under the family clan of Chasmac. So it's going to be exciting to see the rest of these attacks and the stat that Chase the Ace did provide in terms of those base styles. And really Chasmac EA really always running the box style. And so you can really kind of predict of what you're pretty much going to face when it comes to them when you're in these types of competitions. But at the end of the day, you never know. Maybe they just switch it up and they pull on, I don't like trick you on something, but most likely they're probably not if it's been working for them, right? If it's been working for so long, getting them to this point, maybe they want to stick to something that is tried and true and getting them to have the best chances at advancing.
Yeah, the best chance for advancing, that is the right call, because it is all about that in this match. Winner gets to the next week, and the loser is going to drop out of this competition, out of this second qualifier. So for everyone who's like cheering for one of those two teams, if they're dropping out of this, this is not the same as dropping out of the entire World Championship, right? Like, this is only one of the qualifiers, the second qualifier overall. And we have Chasmac Gaming up next, and this one, Temper coming in with a Skelly Donut, it looks like, because I do not see a poison spell in this army composition.
Yeah, no poison with this. Typically, you could also use an Electro Titan to act as your poison to help to take out a defensive clan castle, but early blimp secures that multi-target Inferno. There's the Rage Skelly Bat to try to take out the clan castle and that multi-target Inferno. Not going for the Monolith here, even though, wait a second, the bat, oh no, he is, okay, yeah, he was. I didn't see those bats there. Secures the Monolith, multi, and CC all together.
And even getting one of the sweepers out early. And the blimp was a nice way of taking down that Inferno Tower. It was expensive, but getting it out of the way early is a nice touch to this one. The Golem has to come back. The Golem has to tank. Is it going to go out of range? Yes, it went out of range of the Expo, which is really bad for him. There's the freeze now. Headhunters are coming in as well, and this Queen has to get the Town Hall, and he already invested out of those invisibility spells, so the Queen really has to chase into that Town Hall compartment.
Will the Queen walk in? She's going to reach over to grab that defensive rage. Sends the Warden. Oh, no, yeah, he sends the LaLo to try to prevent the Queen from walking up to the Wizard Tower. As the Warden going in, the Ice Hound pops the air defense. And the Queen should now, with ability, lock on, help try to take out this Town Hall. As the LaLo is trying to cut across as the Town Hall explodes right there with his Queen.
Warden ability to just catch this one Lava Hound as well. Get a nice Warden ability off with all of those troops going into the middle, getting covered. The Royal Champ is in the mix as well. He can still freeze one more time and use a haste as well. But the Royal Champ is just under so much firepower with those two explodes. There's the freeze now, trying to defend the Royal Champ a little bit. And there's not too many defenses on the back end and a lot of loons still left.
Wow.
Are there any red mines?
It's a balloon parade coming through. Look at this crushing hit. And it's another 3-star. He's got plenty of time. There are just a few air skellies as he's moving his way over to the builder hut now. Temper, great not necessarily recovery, but great answer from your previous attack in the last match of turning this one around and getting the 3-star. And when it matters in this elimination match, brilliant job. The value was incredible as it's a 3-star now for Chasmac Gaming.
What a beautiful attack indeed. And this means that the pressure is back on Chasmac EA. Hitting up next, and they would like to keep this close with another 3-star to make sure that the pressure is back then on Chasmac. I'm not sure if the chat is trolling, but I have heard that Strut actually scored a 1-star, which would be not ideal in this elimination match. So let's hope that maybe they can make it close. We will see, but that would be a really unfortunate opening for them. While we on our side have a really close match so far on our hands.
Yeah, it's 3s after 3s, so the pressure starts to mount when it's like that. Oh my. But we're going to have the next attack coming in with Chasmac EA. And box styles, diamond styles, these are the bases being thrown against these players. And we're seeing another LaLo attack, as it's a queen charge LaLo, trying to get some value, not dropping the queen just yet. It's straight off with that flame flinger, and now the queen is there to help potentially try to push that king to go back up, as he wants this queen to go for this town hall.
And one thing which is really, really interesting to me are the pet use cases for the Warden. On Temper's attack, we have seen again the Frosty with the Warden, and on this attack, where most likely he's going to have the Warden with the LaLo as well, we are witnessing a Lizard on the Warden. So I feel like a lot of pros are opting away from using the Owl with LaLo attacks for some reason, and they're really going for different pets at the moment.
Unless it just could be by a mistake. You know, maybe he's doing a ground attack from the Legends and he just forgets to change. That it could be as simple as that. You never know, right? And so I guess all we gotta do, we have to ask him, is this queen though is the problem. Yeah, the eagle bye to his healers. Not gonna get the value he wants now with this queen charge.
Oh no, and even now the flame flinger is getting picked as well. This is really bad news. Trying to start the LaLo in the back of those sweepers, trying to avoid the sweepers if possible, and there we go with the Lizard and the Royal Champion. And we have the Headhunters running into that as well. Warden ability to cover with his Hound to tank for possible backhand loons even more, because at this point I'm not sure if he's saying, yep, I still got this, I will go for 3 stars, or if at this point he's just trying to pick up percentages and trying to make this as high of a percentage as possible 2-star attack.
Yeah, the World Champion needs to continue her way through that. Those Ice Golems just slowing her up, but these balloons are all gone as he drops the haste spell to the top side, which maybe was just him zooming out there, unfortunate, but not gonna get this one here, as he will wrap up with a bit more percentage, but a very nice try, as it's just gonna be the 2-star in the 70% range right there. But man, it was that queen unfortunately not able to continue her charge in towards that Monolith, and then obviously the eagle locking on absolutely destroyed those healers.
Yeah, it is just so frustrating because a lot of times you just cannot react in time to like freeze the eagle, or like, I don't know, like do something to prevent your healers of going down. And this means it's the first defense of this match. Chasmac Gaming having the lead after 2 attacks each on both sides. And now we're waiting for what they're up next. If it's going to be another 3-star, if it is going to be their first 2-star, that's the big question.
Yeah, that is indeed. They're looking for a defense since that one did not, unfortunately, get the 3 stars, as this is the last match of today. There's only 3 matches. We had 4 yesterday, 3 today to find the last set of teams that will be advancing to the playoff stage. Chasmac Gaming versus Chasmac EA, the battle of some family clans. So if you're a Chasmac Gaming fan, I mean, you will at least gonna have one team in the playoffs, but unfortunately one of them will have to be going home. But Giannis is in with the 27 Hogs. Spring traps are the biggest issue for them. Let's see if he's able to avoid those springs, as the rage for the blimp Yetis to take out a scatter. Enemy world champion maybe? No. The tassels will go down from the Yeti mites though. So he does grab the scatter and sets a little bit of that funnel.
Yeah, but I think overall the value was incredible. Taking down the scatter and even like picking the Testa farm side is massive on this one. And we have now the Queen taking down the Hound. Super safe on the outside of the base. He should not have to invest anything. Losing a couple of hit points, but she is staying out of range of danger for now. And now the Queen is supposed to walk towards that Town Hall. Getting wall breaked at the Expo. That would be my guess, that the Queen is wrapping around back and getting wall breaked into the Expo at some point, so the Hog Riders can do the far side entry going into the raged up multi-infernal towers and ground Expo. And we have seen that sometimes those Hogs tend to struggle, especially if there are spring traps.
As that Queen taking out the enemy Queen. He's not dropping his wall breaks yet. Okay. There's the invis up top. Wait. Uh-oh. Wait. Okay, that must have been a misclick there. The Queen, what? She goes straight for the bell tower out of anything there. As her ability's gonna have to look to take out the Town Hall, and now she's working on the multi, and some interesting pathing from this Queen.
Yeah, the Queen getting around the corner. And it fits like that. Well, apparently he did not want to wall break there, but he has to be careful with that defending Monolith. There's, oh no, the Queen going down inside that Town of Poison. The Hog Riders already started. We have now to see if there's any spring traps. There was one spring trap against the Headhunter, but so far the Hog Riders are staying safe, at least for now. Can he still turn this around? We know Hog Riders, they can be strong. The heal spell is in. But the heal spell nowadays on 115, it feels like a lot of times it's just not healing enough, and those Hogs are just dropping even in the heal.
Yeah, unfortunately, again, we're seeing the Hogs disappear before our eyes. When you deploy them, it's just, they just don't want to stay alive, unfortunately. Even with that Warden Eternal Tome, can't get healed back up enough. You have so many ground defenses that just hit them with the bombs, giant bombs, small bombs, everything in the mix. And unfortunately, the Hogs just couldn't stay alive right there.
But it is going to be a somewhat decent percentage on this one. I know I don't think that he's going to be any happier because of that, but they are getting that, like they're having the higher percentage in the tie setup so far. But now we have Chasmac EA coming in next with their next attack. If they're 3-star, they're staying close, but still, as I said, the Chasmac Gaming percentage is overall higher, and that is then for 3 attacks each. At least for now, a little, like a really small lead.
Just a little. And they are going to be looking plenty of attacks still to come in, as a 3-star will tie it up, as it is currently 8-5 in this match. So the pressure is on here, coming in down to the final set of attacks for this final match. But man, Hogs, you just want to see those Hogs be able to have a little bit more strength, you know, to make their way through those Town Hall 15 bases. But with the next attack, Lovey is coming in with the Zap. LaLo has a log launcher. Okay, you know, we haven't seen all too many log launchers. Flame Flanger just has to be like the strongest, like number one. Like, I know I use it like the most out of anything, most likely. But obviously depends on the well, there's the blimp, you know, blimp, flame flingers. You can pick, you gotta, if you had to rank them, you know, you can spend a whole video of making it and talking about each one. But we have now the queen coming, making her way to the left. This is where a long launcher could be very useful, of moving in to help remove an Inferno, pushing through deeper into the base, get a lot of value.
Yeah, that is for sure the case. A log launcher here would give a lot of access, but he's not using it just yet, so maybe there is a different plan. Okay, now there is. I'm wondering why he tried to delay it so much, but we have now the Royal Champion shield right away to funnel that queen maybe further inside, who knows. But for now, the queen is tanking, and the Royal Champion without her ability, and the queen seems to like completely go to the different side.
Yeah, she's just like, no, she's like, all right, let me just keep walking left here, as the log launcher did indeed remove that Inferno Tower, but he drops a handful of balloons to try to pull that poison spell that is out near that town hall. So the poison spell's been pulled, so there comes the LaLo. Very smart to do that so that the poison does not hit his main group of balloons pushing into the town hall.
Nice freeze, keeping his troops safe. The Yetis are tanking at the moment. The Signifier Tower locked onto that queen, and the queen going down. There's now a lot of lava pops on the defense, but wait a second, there is the Warden ability, but those Loons, they still have to take down the town. This could be a massive town explosion, and yes indeed, so much damage to those Loons.
He does have a couple spells left with the freeze under the scatter shot, so dropping these balloons around and it's looking pretty good here as that haste pushed them through. That giant distracting the wizard tower, so balloons can go through. Balloons around here, balloons up top, and look at that. Yes, he popped an early ward ability with the rage, but he had enough on the back side, breaking this base apart and getting that 3-star. And look at that, it's all tied up, but Chasmac Gaming have the percentage lead just by a few buildings.
Just by a few buildings, but with still 2 attacks to go on both sides, anything can still happen. But that attack was beautiful, perfect execution, as you just explained it, like using the Warden ability early to protect the first group of Loons to get towards the town hall, and not losing too many hit points towards making the way towards the town hall. And then he had just too many Loons still in the back to deploy into this last scatter compartment. And that was only what was left after the town hall went down. So really nice job by him. Perfect managing those Loons and Aberhounds. And this means it is all tied up on stars. 8-8, only few percentages are the difference at this point. And Chasmac Gaming now, they need to get the next 3-star in, because I think otherwise this pressure that CMGA can now build up otherwise would be quite significant.
Indeed, that's the big question. Obviously comes down to the decks. Who has what it takes to get it done? Who can step up in the clutch time when it matters most? And all these players are capable of doing it, but it's the nerves that these players are facing. Can they push through it? As we have Timtastic with the Skelly Batdona, it looks to be, with 5 invis. That was what he's taking. Just 1 hog, got a Valkyrie. Let's see how he wants to use it. As there's the Bath. Oh, a Tesla farm right in the middle of this base. And is he losing some of his troops? Oh no! The clan castle's invisible.
Oh no, you saw his reaction right away as soon as he misdropped that second invisibility spell. And this now is going to be really problematic with the clan castle staying alive, depending on whatever is in there. If his heroes are not going to be, are not going to interact though with that, it might be still fine, because he is starting a blimp early on, using the Warden ability now and the haste to take down the scatter. It's actually a super minion, and then my guess would be maybe there is a Hound in there, the snare trap, rotating the blimp around. But the Sneaky Goblin should get the Town Hall anyways.
Yeah, Town Hall is going down. Looking to secure it. Sneakies, come on. There we go. Town Hall has been secured. So now, unfortunately, the Queen will have to deal with the Hound, but the Super Minion has made its way over to the Queen, so he drops a Wizard to try to help take that down. But all these pups are going to really pick off this Queen's health just like that, as he's going to deal with these pups now to help take that down, and then push his way towards the left side. But we do have a sweeper that is next to the Eagle, and look at this. That Rage Spell Tower has come back to reactivate, so that's gonna be a big pain to push through.
Yes, and take a look at the core of this base. They were really expecting a Skelly Donut because we have just so many Tesla in the core, and those you can't really take down with the Skelly Donut. And this, I feel like, was really the bait on this base. I mean, the Skelly Donut didn't even work anyways, but even if it would have worked, the core is not empty. Like, this is why you like to do it. Clear out the core, make sure that nothing is there anymore, to, well, have a better pathing with your troops, and make sure that possible traps are not getting triggered. But with putting Tesla there, this means that the traps are going to get triggered anyways. So overall, a really nice trap and bait by Chasmac EA, and now it's up to Fantastic to somehow save the day.
Yeah, with that defensive rage, though, it's going to be a big problem as the King comes back alive with that Phoenix. The World Champion's trying to push her way through. At this point, it's a matter of getting as much percentage as possible, because this match is all tied up on stars. And Chasmac Gaming did have the lead, and this will bring them down a lot. So Chasmac EA are looking to 3-star to take the lead on stars, but if they don't, then they get a high enough percentage 2-star, they can then overtake the lead going to the final set of attacks.
Yeah, but I feel like just taking a look at the results of the other matches as we have updates on those, I think anything can happen, like comeback-wise. Strut started with a 1-star right away, and the current score in that match right now is 7-6. They're leading with 1 star overall after 3 attacks each, 7-6 versus Power and Esporting. And then we have ET Esports versus X Team, and ET Esports is down 5-7. X Team, they are about to make the craziest tournament run ever, going 0-2, being about to get eliminated, being down by 2 stars in the elimination match, and somehow crawling back into it and keep staying in the tournament. It is crazy.
Yep, that's why I talked about it. You're never out of it until you hit that 3rd loss. You always still have an opportunity. You just got to keep pushing, as we've got Yada coming in with the 6 lightning. Okay, you know, he's spread out the lightning within his clan castle as he takes out the Expo, the multi compartment here, as that Warden is down to help potentially get a little bit more value, as he wants this Flame Flinger to go into that Scattershot and these Teslas, and then Electro Titans towards the Eagle Artillery.
Yes, and with the Eagle Artillery not having an open compartment on the left side, like at the Dark Elixir storage, the funnel should work pretty well to make sure that his troops are going straight into the core and then can be jumped towards the Town Hall. Flame Flinger at the same time having incredible value, but he needs to pay attention to those skeletons. Is there a spotter on voice? What are the spotters are not paying attention? No way! There's now the Wizard, but I feel like that Siege Machine has already lost a lot of hit points.
That's all it takes. One small detail like that. Flame Flinger losing the health, not able to get the scatter shot, and you can lose an attack because of it. As a rage going through for these Electro Titans, moving his way deeper into the core of this base, as he's trying to make his way towards that Monolith, pulling some Sneaking Air Mines. There's the jump, but does it connect into the Monolith to the Town Hall compartment? He needs to pop that King Bill. He does, and he does still have the Warded Eternal Tome.
There's the freeze. He could use the rage to actually get the jump, hitting or like leading the troops into the tunnel compartment, but it's going to work anyways. But with the with the walls funneling everything into the tunnel poison, this is going to be quite deadly. for those Titans because they have to go through the Town Hall Poison. The percentage are going higher and higher, and the Queen is just trying to avoid the Town Hall Poison, but nope, she is just changing her mind and following the other troops into the Town Hall Poison.
Yeah, the problem, though, is the defensive king is up there as well. Yeah, you're going to have to fight through. The Queen ability is going to come in clutch to be able to get a lot more value. So the ability will go off, take out the ground expo, bomb towers, and the multi. But he's literally waiting as long as possible to have to burn that Queen ability. There's the RC skips through. Now multi's going down. There's the headhunters to try to time it onto the king. Very nice timing there. Giant bomb is through. King should be going down. Now it's a race against the clock. But the cannons are going to be annoying to this RC. Giant bomb's up there as well as he needs to perfectly drop the sneaky goblin.
Oh no, the Queen is trying her best, but time is ticking so quickly. We have the minions on the left side trying their best to help, but the Queen cannot reach all of the defenses. The Bitterheart is staying alive, and we can see it's going to be a high percentage, but he is not happy with that one.
Wow.
Getting the 98% 2-star. They are in the lead, but
yeah,
this match is still just so close.
So the previous attack from Timtastic, the low percent, now caused their average destruction percentage for Chasmac Gaming to drop a lot, which now Chasmac EA has overtaken them with the advantage. They are tied on stars, 10-10, but with a 3-star from Chasmac EA in the very last attack, which will have to come after Chasmac Gaming, they can lock it up with no matter what the result is of this next attack. So they know that, and they are preparing for that. But they are also going to be doing the math of how much percentage that they have to get if this next attack doesn't triple. So there's a lot going in to this final attack, and that's where one of the advantages of attacking last you'll have to know exactly what you have to achieve. As General Axe, he knows he's got a 3-star to force the most amount of pressure on Chasmac EA.
Oh, and he's trying to do that with the Super Archer Blimp. Okay, like, if this Blimp is going to be good, he has the chance. But if the Blimp is failing, this attack is pretty much done already from the first second. The freeze, nicely timed. Can the Blimp make it all the way? So far it looks good. The Blimp is going to connect just straight onto that sweeper. And with that being said, the Hound is getting lured away. Hopefully the Super Archers are not going to follow him, but so far it looks good. They'll just keep hitting those buildings. I think the one invisibility was quite early, and since he's using a freeze, he only has one invisibility spell left, and that's just deployed. And the Town Hall is not gone down just yet.
Oh, there we go. Town Hall being secured is huge here, as he's got an Electro Titan to deal with the Hound and the lava pups that come from it really quickly to then move his way around. And the nice thing is, the Eagle Artillery is down. Don't have to worry about Eagle Artillery shots firing upon your wardenless LaLo, essentially, right? You won't have a warden to move in to help protect. And look, he sends the Electro Titan by herself down to the bottom side to the right so that he can send his heroes and not even have to worry about the Lava Hound slowing his heroes up.
Yeah, the next wall break is going to try to connect into that expo. That would be my guess, to get that Queen access towards that multi-inferno tower. Or maybe the plans. No, the wall break has not worked. This Queen can now not reach that multi-inferno tower. And that is really bad news. And that's, by the way, as well, everyone, why those top teams have those really weird openings in their walls. They are, well, just super frustrating because it's so hard to predict how those troops are going to like run, especially the wall breaks.
Yeah, as this headhunter is timed perfectly to help take down that enemy Queen, as now the Hound down south to the left is tanking. Ice Golem to the bottom side to help freeze. Multi gets frozen, more balloons going in. The defensive rage though, but this multi under rage is gonna absolutely smoke these balloons with red air bombs. Oh no, indeed, and down they go.
This tornado trap completely changed the outcome of this attack. Perfectly placed for this specific backend LaLo. I mean, yes, it was probably meant to defend like a blimp or something, but it is
Yeah.
doing the job versus this type of LaLo as well. The king on the back end is not going to do too much because there's a ground expert as well. He's trying to increase the percentage as much as he can, but with the percentage lead which Chasmac EA had after this last attack, this is not looking good. They do only need a solid 2-star to win this match. You can see the frustration on the face of Genrex because he knows that this is most likely not enough, and they are just so close of making it or not making it.
Yeah, because right now we've got a 90.2% and to a 75.2. So that is basically just the 76% they need. 76% 2-star, and you win in advance to the playoff stage. That's the magic number. And a little bit of an update on the other matches. Well, currently, Strut versus VN Esports. There's 4 attacks in. Strut has a 1-star lead, 9-8. E2 Esports versus X Team. X Team has a 1-star lead, both 4 attacks in, 9-8. So those are very close matches as well. As now Takana, 76% 2-star is the mark you're trying to hit, as we've got a Warden walk starting off with the Zap Electro Titans.
And it feels like he's going to do a far side entry. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is a lot of risk to some degree. So let's see if this is going to turn out good. But it feels like that he really wants to make sure that he's entering around this top side into the base. The wall break is working. And the Flame Flinger has to do a great job of then pushing those troops into the middle. But this is as risky as it could get at this point. I mean, the one jump is getting him into the town hall, but those troops could jump anywhere. And this is really risky. Titans are in, and now it's all about placing those spells correctly.
Yeah, as he wall breaks into the multi. Wall breaks yet again to continue this push through all the way towards that Eagle Artillery with that Hound coming out. And he's making his way all the way across. He feels like this is the one that's going to give him at least the most percentage. But if he doesn't get that Town Hall, they won't be tied on stars and they will lose as the poison gets tossed to them. Moving his way into the Town Hall. King's ability off to the far right side as that Warden ability is protecting these Electro Titans quite a bit as he freezes the Town Hall now as he's making his approach.
Nice freeze. The Snare Trap rotating the troops away from the town a little bit. The defensive King is coming in to help. The Queen went to the outside. We have talked about it. This is risky.
No.
He has the Royal Champion. He has not deployed the Royal Champion just yet. The Queen with her ability taking down the Expo. Maybe next.
Wait.
No, first. Yeah, now the Expo. He should be able to target that Town Hall. But wait, is there a Royal Champion going there? It should go there. And the King...
There's the ability.
Wait, the King is trying to defend that town. Wait a second.
The King! The King! The King! No!
What?
Wait,
the Royal Champion?
Wait, the King comes back. The King comes back. The King's... He's got the Phoenix. No, he doesn't even have the Phoenix of the King. He doesn't have the Phoenix of the King. The Phoenix came from the Queen. He comes back and he gets it. Oh!
Oh, my.
Wow.
Why would you do such a risky attack if you have to go like a 76% 2-star? That... Oh my... This was as risky as it could get at this point. They are going to win this because the King making its way back into the base, and with the one... He knows how close this was.
Yeah.
He knows how close this was. And they're going to win because of that.
Chasmac EA takes the victory, and they will be advancing to the playoff stage, which will be next weekend, which will be next Saturday and Sunday. And then that is when we will be crowning first place, giving out $18,000 and that coveted golden ticket. Navi already has a golden ticket, and they have secured a spot in the playoffs. So if Navi finishes in first place, the golden ticket then will be given to whoever they defeated, right? It'll go to the second place, essentially. That's how it will work. But they're just competing for the prize money, for part of the prize pool, you know what? Why not proving how dominant they are? So that is such an exciting stuff to come for next weekend. But we're going to take a look and update you guys on the other matches right after we take a look at the match summary and the MVP of this one here.
Yes, and I mean, this match was, still trying to get over this last attack. That was just so incredible close. Getting it done in the end with this one attack of the king, and then just to have the percentage lead after this one attack of Timtastic, who, just really struggled with the Skelly Donut, and then getting this victory to move on to the next week. MVP for this one, Navi with an incredible Zap LaLo attack. I mean, that attack was beautiful with the lock launcher dive with his heroes, and he showed really how strong the lock launcher can be.
Yeah, really strong indeed. Taking out the Inferno Tower, making the push through, and even though the one ability did take out the Town Hall and cleared it all, the rest of the balloons around made it through. So it was a brilliant attack for Navi, helping Chasmac EA advance to the playoff stage. As we're going to take a look at the results for round 5, as Strut just hangs on to get the victory, 87% over 85, 11-10, and then the comeback story. X Team Early Bird going 0-2 in the Swiss stage, and then winning again, and winning a third time in a row to get into the playoffs when they thought it could have, all hope was lost. They get it done, and what is needed to make their way into the playoffs. Congrats to them.
Yeah, I mean, congrats to them indeed. And I mean, overall, I feel like those last few matches, there was just so much craziness going on with Strut winning, even though they got the 1-star. Then I think, if I'm completely correct, ET Esports had a 1-star as well versus X Team. X Team making it. I mean, you can see it. Their path from the left side, losing on the first, in the first match, losing their second match, being down in the elimination match, and then from this point on, only winning the elimination match, winning another elimination match, and then the third elimination match in a row where they win to make it to the next stage into the playoffs. That is crazy. What a crazy story.
What a crazy story indeed. And if you guys are curious about the playoff bracket and who's going to be facing off who, make sure you guys are following the Clash of Clans social medias. They'll be tweeting out once it's all finalized, so you guys can get an idea of what to expect on Saturday and Sunday when the playoffs are going to be started. But we'll maybe bring up the actual teams that made it so that you guys can know which teams to expect. But later on, they will end up revealing which teams are going to be facing who. So it's going to be just an incredible weekend that we're going to have next weekend. This one was as well. So many great attacks, so many amazing matchups. Man, it's just, I can't wait for what these playoffs are going to bring us.
Yeah, next week is going to be amazing. I feel like at this point, there's just so many good teams overall, but the teams which kind of stand out with me, which it's always Navi. I mean, their consistency is incredible. Yeah. Tribe Gaming with their highs can for sure be a really dominant team, but they really have to make sure that they're a little more consistent with their results. And ET Esports was incredible as well. I mean, they made it as well, 3-0 into the next playoff stage. We had not had the pleasure too much of them, to watch them on the main broadcast, but looking forward to see that then next weekend and what they can show to us.
Yeah, absolutely, and can't wait to see what they will bring and everything to come next weekend, because that is when it all matters with the prize pool. First place taking home $18,000 and that golden ticket. So much on the line to try to join Navi in the World Championship, which is later on this year. So these teams have been preparing for this moment, and just can't wait for that. Just incredible matches, and hope everyone at home have been enjoying these attacks, these matches, and things. Was there any? What was the thing that stood out to you the most, Itsu, this weekend between these matches?
I think overall, the two things which I will remember for sure is, first off, the attack, the crazy Electro Dragon attack, which we have seen yesterday from Navi. And then the second thing, I mean, obviously the finish of this last match. I mean, the King coming back, we think, okay, that's easy 2-star. I mean, he has the Phoenix. Wait a second, he does not have the Phoenix on the King. Nope. And then he just barely made this. I mean, that last attack was so nerve-wracking. So I think those were my two highlights, which were pretty crazy.
Yeah, mine was definitely the Stars recovery of what he was able to do against Tribe. That was wild. To be like, there's no way you could get it, and then he somehow still actually turns into a 3-star. It seems like he has different heroes, different troops. It seems like they have more health than ours. It's just what it looks. It's like, it's insane what they can pull off. Well, absolutely wild stuff. Hopefully all of you at home enjoyed this as well. As if you enjoyed this, you're gonna enjoy next Saturday and Sunday for the playoffs to find out who's getting that golden ticket. Do you have any final words, Itsu, to wrap up before we end it here?
No, I'm just really excited to see if there's going to be maybe some changes in the meta we have seen. Now, Chasmac Gaming doing great with the diamond bases. Maybe that's going to change. I think Tribe had like a combination of, I know you hated, ring and box bases. So that's something I'm looking forward to see maybe more next weekend. So I think the bases, I'm quite excited about that, because I feel like a lot of teams are getting used to the current style of box bases, which then needs to like shake it up a little bit with the meta.
For sure, absolutely. And just one final time, let me go ahead and name all the qualified teams for you guys if you guys want to hear them out. We've got Tribe Gaming and ET Esports and making on. We got Navi, Clash Champs, UG Esports, CMGEA, Strut, and X Team Early Bird. Those are the 8 teams that will be advancing to next weekend to compete for the playoff stage and that golden ticket. But of course, it's been a pleasure casting with you, Itsu. Thank you to everyone watching, the players, Supercell, the production, and cannot wait for the playoffs next weekend. So make sure you guys are tuning in that. Make sure to follow the Clash of Clans social medias so you guys can get the bracket and know who is facing who coming on the weekend. Hopefully I'll see you guys on that stream to find out who's getting that golden ticket that weekend. But till then, have a great rest of you guys' day. Till then, Clash on.